Chapter 427, Watching them getting killed one after another. Inborn expert. That juvenile is an inborn expert. All the surrounding people noticed the spooky sapphire flame exploding out from Xiao Ran's body, and they were startled when the imposing aura spread across the entire area. That juvenile who looked so young was actually an inborn expert. How old could he be judging from his appearance? 15 or 16? Everyone was quite certain that this juvenile was not even 18. How is there such a young inborn expert? He's even younger and a level higher than Xiao Fan. An inborn. Unbelievable. Totally unbelievable. How could there be such a young inborn expert in this world? All the surrounding Xiao clan's disciples and inborn experts were appalled as they watched Xiao Ran, who exploded all his strength. What? Such powerful strength, but how can this be? Piak Piak. The old man from the Liang family who sneaked an attack was aghast by the aura exploded out by Xiao Ran all of a sudden. The sword was blocked by that juvenile. But to his horror, his sword was broken in half without his knowing. Only when the broken sword fell to the ground was a shrill sound heard. Inborn spiritual weapons, spooky heavenly flame. The old man from Liang family recalled what the skinny old man had said and turned gloomy immediately. Oh no. When the skinny old man saw the clan leader making a sudden strike, his expression was totally different as great despair surged in his heart. He told the clan leader about the inborn spiritual weapons and the heavenly flame. Still, he had not mentioned that they were no match for that juvenile even when he and the fat old man joined hands. Clan leader could have the wrong impression that I was crippled by miracle Dr. Wang, but he didn't know that I barely escaped from that brat. Even though the clan leader was stronger than any one of them, the skinny old man and the fat old man were stronger when they joined hands. Gone, the Liang family is completely finished. The skinny old man revealed a miserable and desperate expression on his face as he looked at Wang Xian and the surrounding 50 inborn experts. He knew that he would never avenge himself. With trembling hands, he pulled out a dagger from his arms. This dagger was prepared to slaughter miracle Dr. Wang. I don't want to witness the downfall of Liang family. The skinny old man gazed at the dagger in his hands with malevolence. Poof! He stabbed the dagger right into his heart. Bam! His body fell straight to the ground. Old Jiyu, exclaimed the horrified experts from Liang family when they saw old Jiyu commit suicide. Boom boom! At this time, the entire region was sealed off by an imposing aura. Everyone spun around. To their horror, they realized the entire region was blockaded by the 50 inborn experts who exploded their inborn aura. To the air and to the ground. Every expert in Xiao clan was petrified by this. Stay and witness this. Those who deserve to be killed will die. Will not strike at unrelated people. Wang Xian plainly warned everyone on the spot. People from Xiao clan grimaced. Since when did the almighty sacred clan, Xiao clan, have to be forced to stay put and watch their people being killed? Since the establishment of the Xiao clan, there was never a time that they felt so sullen. But looking at the 50 inborn experts, they did not dare to make a single move at all. Ah! Just then, a cry of horror suddenly cut through the air. Everyone hurriedly looked over only to see a bluish flame sticking to the arm of Liang's clan leader. The flame was inextinguishable as it quickly spread to the rest of the body. No! Liang's clan leader picked up the broken sword with trepidation as he wielded it at his own arm. SSS. The clan leader of Liang family was an inborn for 30 years. He might not be a pinnacle, but it should have been soon. Look at how he was trounced. With inborn spiritual weapon and heavenly flame, not many inborn experts can compete with this combination. How can that miracle Dr. Wang of Rivertown be so scary? He is already Imba. Now, he actually coaches another domineering existence. Moreover, he's an inborn expert. Everyone in the Xiao family had mixed expression. Father. The wealthy-looking lady let out a despairing cry when she saw her father axing his own arm. Clan leader. Go to hell, brat. Liang's inborn experts were horrified as they lunged murderously at Xiao Ran for an attack. Boom. Instantly, Mo Qinglong, Mo Yuan, and the other 3 Dragonians charged at that 5 inborn expert when they made their moves. Average half-step to Dan realm experts could fight against 7 to 8 inborn experts. Possessing the strength of a half-step to Dan realm, Mo Qinglong could fight dozens of inborn experts. Killing one was chicken feet to him. After the Dragonians took the devil's skeletal pills, their domineering bloodline had upped their strength such that they were comparable to pinnacle inborn experts. Mo Yuan was even on par with an average half-step to Dan realm. Instantly, those 5 experts who had tried to strike were killed at once. Blood spattered everywhere. When the old man of Liang family heard the screams of his people, he was devastated. With resoluteness in his eyes, he glared at Xiao Ran. "I'm not convinced, you little bastard." His body began to burn with blood gushing out of his body, looking horrible. However, the aura exuded from his body was even scarier. Growl. The clan leader of Liang family let out a beast-like cry. This sorcery is known as the Flash of Glory. As more fresh blood burns, more powerful energy will be exploded. The self-consumption is quite high. Hence, it is a taboo technique. Liang Qianggua is burning away all his life. When the old man in the air witnessed the scary sorcery of Liang's clan leader, his face changed. For the next 10 seconds, he will explode the strength of half-step to Dan realm. Using his own blood essence as the trigger to perform Flash of Glory, "I'm afraid that brat with inborn spiritual weapon and heavenly flame cannot block this," said an old man with a solemn look. Exchanging life for 10-second glory, the Flash of Glory was domineering. The aura exploded by Liang's clan leader forced the surrounding people to take a step back as horror filled their eyes. Kill him, kill him." Xiao Fan, with bloodshot eyes, stared at Xiao Ran when he saw his grandfather casting the taboo sorcery, igniting his own blood away just for 10 seconds of glory. Quite impressive. Upon seeing the old man from Liang family trying to exchange a life for a life, Wang Xian displayed a faint smile and said, "Old Mo, lend a hand to Xiao Ran." "Yes, young master." As soon as Mo Qinglong spoke, he appeared before Xiao Ran, like a phantom. With a cold smile, he stared at the clan leader of Liang family. "Grandpa Mo." Xiao Ran was paled by the oppressing aura as he gave a weak cry. Xiao Ran, not bad. I'll stop him for 10 seconds for you while you kill him, damn." The surrounding experts from Xiao clan twitched their lips aggressively when they witnessed this. The entire fucking operating series is distinct. When someone besieges you, your master will take them out. If you're not a match, your master will get someone to replace you. Those that can't outfight you, you can kill instantly. This is an apparent shielding of them, suppressing them by force. Yet, as the sacred clan, all they could do was watch their shameless act as they performed the massacre. Chapter 428, his last name is Xiao Tu. Boom. In the field, streams of devilish aura were emitted from Mo Qinglong's body. The devilish aura rotated slowly and eventually formed a black shield. On the shield, there was a vicious-looking devil dragon which enveloped Xiao Ran and him completely. Attack! Mo Qinglong looked plainly at the clan leader of Liang family and remarked. The clan leader of the Liang family could feel his eyes twitching violently. His body, which was emitting terrifying aura, started shaking violently. Breaking down. He was on the verge of tearing. He had ignited his life force in preparation to kill this kid. In the end, an existence who was clearly above the inborn realm protected him and gestured for him to attack. This feeling was insufferable. The clan leader of the Liang family attacked Mo Qinglong desperately. Rumble. Horrifying strikes brought upon a strong gale that shook the surrounding. Huge explosions reverberated across the entire Xiao clan. However, the attacks of the clan leader from the Liang family couldn't put a dent in Mo Qinglong's defense. He couldn't break his defense at all. Hee. If I move a little, it's my loss. Mo Qinglong looked at the clan leader of the Liang family and commented with ridicule. SSS. What a strong defense. That middle-aged man is definitely a half-step to Dan realm expert. His isn't just an ordinary half-step to Dan realm expert. The clan leader of the Liang family must be feeling miserable. He ignited his life force to increase his strength temporarily, and yet the other party was making fun of his attack. Liang family has a good relationship with our Xiao clan. We When the surrounding Xiao clan disciples saw what was happening and heard the highly offensive words from Mo Qinglong, they were shocked, feeling complicated and bitter. Liang family and the Xiao clan had been friends for generations. It wasn't the first time that they had a political marriage. In fact, the most talented disciple in the Xiao clan currently was the grandson of the clan leader of the Liang family. 10 seconds quickly passed and the clan leader of the Liang family spewed a mouthful of blood. His eyes were fixed on Mo Qinglong and Xiao Ran while he was feeling wretched. Continue. Mo Qinglong moved his arm and retracted his defense. After which, he said something to Xiao Ran before returning to the side of Wang Xian. Let me ask you this. Are you guys responsible for the annihilation of my grandfather's family? Xiao Ran pulled a long face, held his ancient spiritual sword tightly and stared at the clan leader of the Liang family, brimming with killing intent. Cough cough. So what if we are? The clan leader of the Liang family could sense vitality leaking from his body rapidly. However, he still mustered the strength to glower at Xiao Ran. All I wanted was an answer. No matter what, I'm definitely going to annihilate your Liang family. Xiao Ran nodded his head before piercing the ancient spiritual sword into his waist. Grandpa. Grandma. Xiao Ran mumbled softly to himself. Soon after, he turned his attention towards the wealthy-looking lady and Xiao Fan. Father. Father. At this point, the wealthy-looking lady had completely collapsed. Seeing the corpses of her father and the members of the Liang family around her, her body was shivering. When you killed my mother and my grandparents, were you ever expecting this? Xiao Ran stared coldly at the wealthy-looking lady. With the ancient spiritual sword tightly in his grip, he walked towards her, overwhelmed by killing intent. You! Don't you come over! Don't come over! Xiao Fan was horrified to see Xiao Ran walking towards him. A teenager that was even younger than him had the strength of an inborn expert. This caused the prideful young man to feel completely defeated. Xiao Ran was truly the most talented and powerful teenager. Seeing this teenager approaching him, fear slowly crept up. Xiao Ran lifted his head and looked at this brother of his. With condemning eyes, he remarked, "After killing your mother, I'll kill you. Don't you dare! Don't you dare!" The wealthy-looking lady screamed wretchedly upon hearing Xiao Ran. She looked hideous and glowered at Xiao Ran as though she were a female ghost. Great nanny! Great nanny! Xiao Fan turned around and called out to the old lady with the truncheon pitifully. The old lady tightened her grip on the truncheon, turned to Wang Xian and said, "Xiao Fan is the most gifted disciple of our Xiao clan and the future successor. If you kill him, our Xiao clan will not rest until one of us has perished. Miracle Dr. Wang from Rivertown, you have killed so many people for your disciple. No matter how deep the feud is, it should be over now. Let the most outstanding disciple of Xiao clan off as a form of goodwill. Let's end this here right now," the old men in the air shouted solemnly at Wang Xian. The threat of the old lady and the reconciliatory tone of the old man were clearly a display of their attitude. Those who had died previously weren't experts of the Xiao clan after all. However, if Xiao Ran or Wang Xian were to kill the most outstanding disciple of the Xiao clan in this generation, they wouldn't just stand back. "If you guys dare to make a move, I'll annihilate your entire Xiao clan." Wang Xian looked at the old lady and declared coldly, "You." The old lady was flushed and her body was shivering as she stared at Wang Xian. The surrounding members of the Xiao clan were completely silent. That young man clearly wasn't just threatening them. He had the capacity to put his words into action. He. Xiao Ran smirked and looked at the old lady before turning to Xiao Fan. Asking for help. How ironic. Can you still remember? 2 years ago, Father asked us to spar after I arrived at the Xiao clan for the very first time. He asked you to guide me in the flame duel, but you torched me till my entire body was burnt red. When I asked our father for help, what did you say? Xiao clan has no cowardly disciple and wouldn't need a cowardly disciple who begs for help. You even asked me to scram. Can you still remember the times you bullied me under the pretense of sparring? Xiao Ran illustrated slowly. His eyes were turning red and his body was shivering. Have you forgotten me after not seeing me for just a year? Xiao Fan, I'm Xiao Ran. What? Xiao Fan's eyes widened in disbelief. He pointed at Xiao Ran and stammered, You are Xiao Ran. You are that little trash. Boom. When Xiao Ran completed his words, the entire Xiao clan was shaken. They were dumbfounded and stared at Xiao Ran in disbelief. He said he is Xiao Ran. His last name is Xiao. Xiao Ran. Xiao Ran. His last name is Xiao. Oh gosh. Xiao Ran. Xiao Ran. If I recall correctly, third brother once brought back a lady with 2 kids. The boy's name seemed to be Xiao Ran. The surrounding Xiao clan members stared at Xiao Ran. Some of them seemed to have recalled something as they mumbled within themselves. What? The old lady's eyes widened and she couldn't hold back her exclamations. Xiao Ran. Xiao Ran. She didn't have an impression of him. However, from the words of Xiao Ran, she knew that this teenager was the descendant of her grandson, and her great-grandson. A direct blood relationship. How can this be? It feels like heaven is playing a joke on us. The crowd of Xiao clan exchanged glances. They were stunned and felt complicated. This teenager's surname was Xiao. He was a disciple of the Xiao clan. A 15-year-old Xiao clan's disciple had barged into the Xiao clan and started a killing spree. He was returning in such a manner to face the Xiao clan. This embarrassed every member of the Xiao clan. The first person to have ever killed his way into the Xiao clan happened to be their junior. Chapter 429, Avenged. All the experts from Xiao clan felt irony and bitterness. But subsequently, doubts surfaced on their faces. Why is he here for revenge? He claimed that his mother was killed. All the experts turned their focus to the wealthy-looking lady, Xiao Fan, and Xiao Ran. What the hell is going on? Asked the old lady whose hands were shaking as she stared at the wealthy-looking lady. The wealthy-looking lady did not answer her. She was pale and quiet. Xiao Ran, since you're one of the disciples of Xiao clan, you'll tell me the truth. We'll stand up for you, said the old lady to Xiao Ran with a darkened expression when she saw the wealthy-looking lady keeping her silence. Get lost. Xiao Ran bellowed at that old woman, I don't need the Xiao clan to stand up for me. Why would I need you now? Haha. Xiao Ran scorned. Talking about standing up for him now? Does he still need it? What were they doing in the first place? Xiao Ran swept his cold gaze across all the members of Xiao clan. The elders from the general office and pharmacy, I still remember what you guys said to my mum when she looked for you. All of you shall die too. As Xiao Ran spoke, he pointed the sword at Xiao Fan and lunged forward. But I'll kill you first so that your mum can feel the pain of losing kin. No. Don't you dare. Don't you dare. The wealthy-looking lady screamed crazily. She pulled out a hairpin from her hair and pointed it at Xiao Ran with a ruthless look. The old lady was shaken when Xiao Ran bellowed at her. With a mixed expression, she could not help but cough. Her great-grandson had actually turned his back on her and chided her. You think you're fit to stop me? Xiao Ran looked at the wealthy-looking lady with cold eyes as he slashed the ancient spiritual sword at her. Ah! The wealthy-looking lady let out a devastating scream. Even though she was a strong level 9 martial artist, she was not in Xiao Ran's league. As the sword swept across, the wealthy-looking lady's arm was slashed off. The sword continued its stance as it was wielded at Xiao Fan. No! Don't kill me. Xiao Fan was petrified as he quickly fled. As the future successor and the most outstanding disciple of Xiao clan, Xiao Fan chickened out and dared not fight with Xiao Ran at all. The so-called sacred clan supreme talent was nothing like a clown now. I'll kill you with the move that you used to humiliate me. Flame stream. Xiao Ran wielded the ancient spiritual sword. Sheets of tranquil blue heavenly flame transformed into blazing streamers, shooting at Xiao Fan. Ah! Xiao Fan did his best to dodge, but both his legs were hit by the sapphire flame. He let out a painful cry as he witnessed his legs vanishing rapidly. Desperation filled his eyes. Son, my son. Hearing the shrieks coming from his son when the tranquil blue heavenly flame enveloped him, the wealthy-looking lady cried out in agony. What a daunting flame! Sigh. All the people from Xiao clan were stunned and astonished by what they saw. Their feelings were complicated when they looked at Xiao Fan. Go to hell, too. Xiao Ran pointed his sword at the wealthy-looking lady and killed her in a single move. "Come on out, you two elders." Xiao Ran cast a look at the wealthy-looking lady and Xiao Fan, who had been reduced to ashes. He felt relieved as he turned to the other two elders. Both of them had constant mixed expression. All the surrounding experts of Xiao clan were watching them. Yet, no one spoke a word. Now, they finally understood something, and they were at a loss of words. Ultimately, it was Xiao clan's doing that a demon like Xiao's disciple came here for his revenge. Based on the current situation, nobody could interfere with this. That Xiao's disciple had found himself a formidable master. Upon seeing all the surrounding clan members holding their tongues, the two elders' faces went pale. They knew that they were completely finished this time. Never did they expect that befriending that wealthy-looking lady would land them in such a state today. Indeed, no one should bully the young ones. With two agonizing cries sounding off in the Xiao clan, Xiao Ran had eliminated all his enemies. He'd taken his revenge. Bam! Xiao Ran knelt before Wang Xian with tears rolling down his cheeks. "Thank you, master. I have avenged my mum and the rest. Since you've taken your revenge, we can leave now." Wang Xian patted his shoulder with a smile and got him to stand up. "Let's go. You must practice hard from now on because you can only depend on yourself in the future. The true strength lies in yourself." As Wang Xian spoke, he slowly stalked out. Xiao Ran stood up with a forceful nod and followed behind him. Phew! As the Dragonians retreated, 50 of them simply strutted out of the mansion. All the disciples of Xiao clan heaved a sigh of relief but remained silent. As they looked at the corpses on the floor, there was embarrassment, anger, humiliation, and complicated looks on them. Nobody shall breathe a word to anyone regarding what happened tonight. The old man in the air slowly descended as he issued warnings to the surrounding disciples. They could not afford to throw their faces away with someone barging into the mighty sacred clan and left after killing a dozen people. Especially when this was an ironic matter that involved a member of Xiao clan exacting his revenge. A victim member returning for revenge was the root of the problem. If word got around, the entire Xiao clan would be a laughingstock. Laozu has been informed. He's furious about it. If this is not handled properly, everyone will have a difficult life. The current clan leader of Xiao clan spoke with bitterness. This matter involved the most outstanding disciple of Xiao clan, his mother, and two elders. They had joined hands to destroy a member of Xiao clan. Moreover, he was such a super formidable disciple. A disciple who had advanced to inborn realm at a mere age of 15. The severity of this matter infuriated Laozu more than someone killing members of Xiao clan. Xiao Ran, Miracle Dr. Wang. As the experts watched the figures disappearing into the dark, their eyes blinked. Eventually, everyone exclaimed. Wang Xian chuckled and, upon seeing Xiao Ran in a trance after exacting his revenge, said, "It's time you think about how you're going to lead your life now." Since he had taken his revenge, he had lost the goal in his life. It was time to think about how to lead his life from now on. Wang Xian would not interfere with his life. He could only take care of his disciple for the time being and not for his entire life. He would be on his own in the future. "Thank you, master." Xiao Ran lifted his chin and looked at Wang Xian as he nodded with force. A new chapter of life had begun. Chapter 430, Everything Settled. Laozu. Laozu. Father. At approximately 3 to 4 a.m., no one in the entire Xiao clan was asleep. In the sacred mountain of the Xiao clan, all the members of the Xiao clan had gathered. Even 10-year-old kids were present. When a bald old man flew in, all the members of the Xiao clan stood up and greeted the old man respectfully. The bald old man was still reflecting some light, even at night, off his head and had extremely thick eyebrows. Overall, he looked rather comical. However, everyone in the Xiao clan was shivering in fear when facing of this old man. A long time ago, two men had been widely addressed as the explosive duo. At that time, they were both exceptionally famous. One of them was the Laozu of the Sui clan, Sui Huang, and the other was the Laozu of the Xiao clan, Xiao Quanshan. Both of them were fire attribute cultivators and had explosive tempers. Subsequently, Sui Huang started refining elixir pills which wore away his fiery temper. At that time, members of the Sui clan recalled Sui Huang's roars reverberating throughout the entire clan when he first started refining elixir pills. Subsequently, refining elixir pills had honed his temper. This made the members of the Xiao clan extremely envious. Not only did their Laozu's temper not improve, but it got even worse. Once, 2 disciples of the Xiao clan committed illegal acts. Their Laozu slaughtered both of them before the entire clan without reserve. Everyone was afraid of his fiery temper. Speak. What's this all about? The old man stopped in the middle. He didn't sit down and simply looked across the crowd as he demanded coldly. Laozu, Miracle Dr. Wang from Rivertown led 50 inborn experts to our sacred clan at night. Tell me about Xiao Fan first. Xiao Quanshan interrupted the clan leader of the Xiao clan loudly. Yes. The clan leader of the Xiao clan wiped off the cold sweat on his forehead while recollecting the incident. The cause of this matter is because a 6th-generation disciple of Xiao clan married the daughter of the clan leader of the Liang family. Subsequently, he had another woman outside with a boy and a girl. The boy had exceptional talents and was brought back to the Xiao clan. He was badly treated by the daughter of the clan leader of the Liang family. Moreover, she attempted to assassinate them with poison. Subsequently, the 3 of them fled and were pursued by assassins hired by the daughter of the clan leader of the Liang family. After a year of being pursued, the mother of the boy and girl was killed. In the end, the boy and girl were rescued by Miracle Dr. Wang from Rivertown, who took the boy in as his disciple. They were here today to seek revenge. Among those who oppressed the mother and 2 kids, there were 2 5th-generation elders. I don't care how many women or kids you guys have outside the clan. I'm asking you why there are intentional killings and oppression within the Xiao clan. Tell me. When Xiao Quanshan heard the explanation of the clan leader of Xiao clan, he chided loudly. He looked across every single person before him and remarked, "This even involves the management of the Xiao clan. Are you guys courting death?" Xiao Quanshan berated the members of the Xiao clan. As for you, you can stop being the clan leader. Our Xiao clan has the least members among the 3 main sacred clans in Shangjing, and yet you can't even deal with this appropriately. The clan leader of the Xiao clan paled and nodded his head immediately. Yes, Laozu. Who else was involved in this matter? All those who know about this, step forward now. Xiao Quanshan took a glance at the clan leader of the Xiao clan before berating once again. I don't believe that only those 2 trash that were killed knew about this and condoned the oppression. You better step forward now. If you don't blame me for not being courteous if I learn otherwise in the future. Below him, some members of the Xiao clan had turned as pale as chalk. 6 women and 5 old men stepped forward bitterly. TSK. Quite a few of you. Xiao Quanshan snorted. The imprisonment area of the sacred mountain happens to be empty. Every single one of you shall reflect on what you've done in it for a year. The group who stepped forward shivered and cold sweat had broken out on their foreheads. How old is that Xiao Ran now? Xiao Quanshan diverted the subject and asked. Laozu, Xiao Ran is currently 15 years and 8 months old. He possesses a heavenly flame and an inborn spiritual weapon, replied the clan leader of the Xiao clan immediately. When he heard about Xiao Ran's age, Xiao Quanshan was shocked too. He was definitely the only 15-year-old inborn expert throughout history. Reaching the inborn realm at the age of 15, excitement gleamed in the eyes of Xiao Quanshan. He has close to a 90% chance of stepping into the Dan realm in the future. That Miracle Dr. Wang from Rivertown has likely invested huge resources into him to groom him into an inborn expert. He even gave Xiao Ran a heavenly flame and inborn spiritual weapon. Damn. Our Xiao clan finally gets a demon-like talent and yet he ends up going against us. All of you are useless. Damn. Get 20 guys to come with me to invite that kid back to our clan. We can't let this type of demon-like talent walk off. Xiao Quanshan instructed the crowd. Soon after, he moved and entered into the depths of the sacred mountain. All of you go get yourself prepared to welcome that kid back. When I die, a talented teenager like him could at least still protect our Xiao clan for another 100 years. Xiao Chuanshan's voice reverberated across. The next instant, all the members of the Xiao clan started moving. No one dared to delay or slack off. Master, I want to become an expert. I want to be able to protect Master in the future to repay this gratitude. I want to protect my sister. On the second day, Xiao Ran looked at Wang Xian and spoke seriously after returning from Shangjing. Wang Xian looked at him, smiled, sipped on a mouthful of tea and responded, "All right. Master, I wish to head out and roam the world myself." Xiao Ran paused for a moment before continuing. "Now that my strength has reached the inborn realm, I wish to roam the world and achieve something for myself." Huh? Wang Xian was slightly surprised. He hesitated for a moment but still nodded his head. "You can choose your own path. The underworld is scheming and perilous. If you encounter any issues, your master will seek revenge for you. Rest assured, master. I'll be careful." Xiao Ran gave Wang Xian a radiant smile. After a year of running, and after experiencing the incidents over the last few days, his mindset had changed substantially. Even a 20 to 30-year-old man might not be as mature as him. Wang Xian looked at Xiao Ran and scrutinized him from head to toe once again. His composure and determined gaze wasn't something that belonged to one of his age and maturity. As long as he did not die prematurely, he would definitely not be ordinary. "Haha, is Miracle Dr. Wang from Rivertown Inn? I have long heard of the big name of Miracle Dr. Wang and I'm here to pay you a visit today." At this juncture, a rough voice came from outside the villa. Wang Xian was taken aback and said to Xiao Ran, "Go take a look." "Yes, master." Xiao Ran nodded his head and headed towards the door of the villa. When he saw the bald old man standing before the door, he had his suspicions. "Who are you? What matters do you have with my master?" Cough cough. The bald old man scrutinized Xiao Ran from top to bottom and was satisfied with what he saw. "You are a pretty good-looking kid. I have long heard about your master's name and have brought presents to pay him a visit. Can you allow me in?" Chapter 431, Outstanding Young Heroes Competition. Xiao Ran pulled his eyebrows together when he saw that old man. He could tell that this bald old man was not someone simple. But he did not seem to have feigned kindness on his face, and the way he looked at him was a little queer. Suddenly, he recalled someone. "Haha, I heard that your master loves tea. This is the Dehongpao grown on the mother trees. One catty costs a few million. No average people can get this." The bald old man raised the gift in his hands and grinned at Xiao Ran. "Come in." Xiao Ran looked deeply at him before he walked into the villa. "Master, there's an old man here who admires you. I don't know what his agenda is." "Oh, let the old man in." Wang Xian nodded. As his voice trailed off, a bald old man stalked in as he grinned. His eyes narrowed when he saw Wang Xian. When Wang Xian looked at that bald old man, he squinted his eyes too as he sensed the daunting energy in his body. He then recalled someone who Sui Huang had mentioned before. "Are you here to question our sins?" asked Wang Xian to the old man with a grin. "No such thing. I'm here to express my gratitude to Miracle Dr. Wang. This is the Dehongpao grown from the mother trees. How is it? Does it please you?" The old man walked over with a broad smile. Without any formality, he sat beside Wang Xian. "Your business is none of my business." Wang Xian fixed his eyes on the old man with a beam. He turned to Xiao Ran. "Open this and make me a cup of tea." The old man twitched his mouth. Since Wang Xian had seen through his intention, his tongue was tied. If he were to ask Xiao Ran straight away, he did not think he had a chance. So he wanted to befriend Miracle Dr. Wang, so that he could put in some good word for him. "Old Xiao, do you want some?" Xiao Ran asked plainly as he looked at Xiao Quanshan when he poured a cup for Wang Xian. "Okay." Xiao Quanshan was smiling, but his face suddenly stiffened up. His eyes were fixed on Xiao Ran. "You recognized me? I stayed in the Xiao clan for about a year. I may not have seen you, but I have heard about you." Xiao Ran answered Xiao Quanshan without any emotion. "You're indeed one of us. What a smart boy." Xiao Quanshan looked at the nonchalant Xiao Ran and chuckled with embarrassment. He was a little awkward as a bad feeling arose. This Xiao Ran was simply too calm and too mature. His EQ was far better than those members in the Xiao family. The more Xiao Ran behaved in this way, the lower the possibility that he had to bring him back to Xiao clan. Xiao Ran gave a faint smile. He placed the teacup before him and signaled for him to drink it. Xiao Quanshan grinned. Being someone with a fiery temper, this was far trickier than he thought. Wang Xian giggled by the side. He took out his phone to play, ignoring both of them. He would not interfere in Xiao Ran's matters. Even if Xiao Ran decided to return to Xiao clan, Wang Xian had no opinion about it. Hey, Xiao Ran. After I found out about you yesterday, I was in grief and melancholy. I rushed back to the clan at night and taught that bunch of people a lesson. Xiao Ran, my poor child. It has been hard for you. Xiao Quanshan gritted his teeth and spoke with a gentle voice. I can return to the Xiao clan. Suddenly Xiao Ran spoke to Xiao Quanshan. What? You agree? Xiao Quanshan was stunned as he looked at Xiao Ran with disbelief. Things were going way too easy. This was totally unexpected for him, but, I have a few conditions. Xiao Ran looked at him and added. What conditions? Tell me, and I'll fulfill all of them. Xiao Quanshan stared at him with excitement. He had a vibrant facial expression. First, I want to be the clan leader of Xiao clan. Sure, the former one has been kicked out by me. Second, I want to have the right to mobilize Xiao clan's enforcer team. No problem, the clan leader has the right. Third, I must have absolute freedom. Haha, this is not a problem. That's all. That's all. Only 3. I, Laozu, have already prepared 8 palanquins to take you back. Haha. Xiao Quanshan was so thrilled that he almost jumped. Things were much easier than he thought. Gosh, no doubt the Xiaos share the same genes as me. Cool. Master, I'm returning to the Xiao clan. Now, I have some power on my own. Tell me if you need any help. I'll definitely assist you in the future. Xiao Ran grinned at Wang Xian as he spoke. Xiao Quanshan's laughter froze on his face as his lips could not stop twitching. Sure. It's good that you're going back to the Xiao clan, and can become a clan leader of a sacred clan. I'll wait for you to make a name in the underworld. Wang Xian smiled as he stood up and gave a pat on Xiao Ran's shoulder. Yes, master. I'll achieve it, said Xiao Ran firmly. Return with him. You can visit us when you're free. Oh, and bringing some good tea will do. Look for me if you meet any difficulties, said Wang Xian with a broad smile. Bam! Xiao Ran knelt on the floor with red eyes. Once a teacher, always a teacher. Master, it's not life and death now. Enough, just go. Wang Xian smiled and waved a dismissive hand. Miracle Dr. Wang is indeed a loyal friend. We're friends now. Xiao Quanshan chuckled as he swung his arm. A folding fan and a flame bead were placed on the table. This is a small token. Thank you for saving the outstanding disciple of Xiao clan. You're welcome. Upon seeing the flame bead, Wang Xian put on a broad smile. Xiao Ran, let's go. Return to the Xiao clan with glory. I'll announce to the underworld the return of my super genius disciple of Xiao clan. Haha. Xiao Quanshan chortled as he spoke to Xiao Ran with thrills. Xiao Ran nodded and again bowed to Wang Xian before he left with Xiao Quanshan. Good tea. Wang Xian smiled. The flame bead caught his eyes, and he picked it up from the table. Purple Inferno, level 10. The flame bead was not red. Instead, it was giving off a level 10 purple flame. Wang Xian was satisfied with the corrosive flame. Hey, this fan is not ordinary. Golden Ivory Fan, level 10. TSK, this Xiao Quanshan is interesting. I gave a heavenly flame and inborn spiritual weapon to Xiao Ran. He returned me a flame bead and an inborn spiritual weapon. Wang Xian chuckled as he flicked his palm. The golden ivory fan unfolded, revealing a sharp metal radiance. An impressive sharp weapon. After Xiao Ran's matter was settled, Wang Xian had his free time again. Together with Guan Shuqing and Lan Qingyu, Wang Xian spent shameless time with them, enjoying himself, feeling refreshed every day. Rapid progression in the establishment of the floating island was ongoing while the Dragonians continued to roam around in the underworld for spiritual grasses and spiritual stones. Yet, the underworld broke out more shocking news during those 5 days. Incredible talent found in sacred clan of Shongjing. 15-year-old inborn expert became the youngest clan leader of Xiao clan. Demon-like talents frequently making an appearance. 5 30-year-old inborn experts suppressed 3 first-class forces and obtained level 5 spiritual grass. Another appearance of the demon-like talents. 7 inborn experts who were below 30 killed a sea monster at Sky Mountain. They completed the 4th mission of the underworld and gained 1,000 spiritual stones. The son of Hai Jiao, young lord of Sea Serpent Island, had shown up in the underworld, aiming for the Outstanding Young Heroes competition. With the sprouting of young talents in the underworld, everyone was looking to make a name on the Outstanding Young Heroes chart. Chapter 432, Gathering of the Outstanding Heroes, 1. The biannual Outstanding Young Heroes competition was about to start. For all young disciples, this was a grand event. They could compete for supremacy among the youths of the underworld, challenge the strongest experts in their generation, and aim to reach the top of the Outstanding Young Heroes chart. They could become the strongest champion among the youths. For every young disciple, this was a dream and a form of motivation. The thought of standing above the entire generation of youths made everyone excited for the competition. The Outstanding Young Heroes competition was not just a stage for the young disciples. At the same time, it was a stage for sacred sects and powerful forces to display their strength. The strength of the young generation also represented the future of a force. As compared to before, the current Outstanding Young Heroes competition was attracting way more attention. There were too many geniuses and demon-like talents that had mushroomed out. In the past, one could be ranked in the top 5 when one reached the inborn realm. However, the news over the past year had been more and more explosive and impressive. Even those experienced inborn experts were at a loss for words over why the current young generation had become so terrifying. Just a while ago, the 20-year-old miracle Dr. Wang from Rivertown emerged from nowhere. He killed 4 to 5 inborn experts and was widely regarded as the strongest on the Outstanding Young Heroes chart. The entire underworld was shaken and countless people were dumbfounded. However, an even more demon-like existence emerged from the Xiao clan 4 days ago. He was an unparalleled demon-like talent which many regarded as having started his cultivation when he was still in his mother's womb. A 15-year-old inborn expert and the current clan leader of the sacred clan, Xiao clan. He was the youngest clan leader of a sacred clan and the very first in history. When the news came from the Xiao clan, everyone in the underworld was shocked. This had completely refreshed the norms many people had taken for granted. A 15-year-old inborn expert. What a terrifying existence he was. When they were 15 years old, how strong were they? Level 3 or Level 4 martial artists. The appearance of one after another demon-like existence made countless people speechless. When more and more young inborn experts emerged in the underworld, people were going crazy about it. With over 10 inborn experts around the age of 30 participating in the Outstanding Young Heroes competition, the competition would be exceptionally explosive and competitive. Those who hadn't reached half-step to inborn wouldn't even make it to the chart. Brother, are you going for the Outstanding Young Heroes competition? I'll be going with my master and the sect tomorrow. At night, Xiao Yu called and asked excitedly when Wang Xian was having dinner with Guan Shuqing, Lan Qingyu, and Sun Lingxiu. Yeah, we are joining in for the show tomorrow, Wang Xian replied with a smile. The entire underworld had been about the youth competition over the past few years, and he had prepared to go and take a look. To witness the strength of the current generation of experts in the underworld. In addition, Wang Xian had another task. That was none other than announcing to all that he would be establishing a sacred sect. The truth was, Wang Xian had some of the matters arranged and settled. For example, the Dragonians. He wanted to shock the entire underworld with the establishment of the sacred sect, Dragon Sect. The current Outstanding Young Heroes competition happened to be a great opportunity. At that time, the Dragon Sect would be established and he would invite all sects to pay pilgrimage to him. Wang Xian's lips curved into a smile. Let's meet at Huashan then. All right, brother. Haha, at that time, I'll be announcing the advancement of the Thistles and Thorns sect to a first-class force. Hee hee. With my master and I around, our Thistles and Thorns sect will be known throughout the entire underworld. Xiao Yu said contentedly. All right. All hail the great sect leader Xiao Yu. Sect leader Xiao Yu shall be recorded in history forever and will rule the world. Wang Xian teased. Hee hee. I'll protect you in the future. Xiao Yu laughed proudly. After a brief casual chat, they hung up the phone. With Xiao Yu and Elder Fang's current strength, no one will likely be a match for them unless you participate too. Guan Shuqing said to Wang Xian with a smile. Yeah, no one will be a match for them. Wang Xian nodded his head. Considering the strength of Xiao Yu and Elder Fang, no one in the younger generation could possibly defeat them. Even Mo Qinglong was a far cry from them now. After turning into the skeletal dragons, they could even fight on par with Dan realm experts. With their strength, no one would have differing views if they announced their ascension to a sacred sect. I used to be the strongest and now I'm the weakest. Guan Shuqing grumbled unhappily. You are considering yourself weak. You could release such tremendous flames the moment you reached the inborn realm. Even a pinnacle inborn expert would be exhausted to death against you. Wang Xian joked. A few days ago, Guan Shuqing had finally reached the inborn realm. After reaching the inborn realm, the flame within her body underwent huge changes. The flames she could release were even more terrifying than the tranquil blue heavenly flame. What was most horrifying about her was that the flames within her seemed to be limitless. When Sui Huang asked her to launch long-range attacks, Guan Shuqing released a full hour of flames without feeling the least bit of fatigue or exhaustion. With limitless flames, huge long-ranged attacks would be just tricks to her. Sui Huang was stunned for a long time. The next day, he informed her that he would be heading overseas to get her a fire attribute long-ranged attack skill. In other words, he was looking for attacking techniques of magicians in Euramerica. At this juncture, Guan Shuqing could simply act as a flamethrower tower. I'm still really weak in close combat, chuckled Guan Shuqing. All right, let's finish our dinner quickly and go to bed. We still have a long journey tomorrow. Wang Xian said sheepishly. Lan Qingyu and Guan Shuqing rolled their eyes at him while Sun Lingxiu was flushed with embarrassment. With her current cultivation attainment, she could hear clearly any movements within the villa. Recently, she had heard all kinds of sounds. On the next morning, Wang Xian headed towards Huashan with the three girls. Huashan was a mystical place in Chinese novels. It was most famous for the discussion of swords. The Outstanding Young Heroes competition would be held in Huashan. The competition wasn't held in the scenic region of Huashan. Instead, it was an isolated region. However, the region wasn't open yet. As the winter holidays had just passed and it was the winter season, there weren't many tourists around. Nonetheless, there were still lots of people around. Most of them were martial artists who used long swords or short daggers. They wore neat uniforms from various sects and families and looked exceptionally imposing. The scholars of Jiangnan couldn't possibly be a match. Wang Xian was in exceptionally elaborate attire. He had Zhonlu's sword beside his waist and a golden fan in his hand. Three beautiful ladies stood beside him with Mo Qinglong and Mo Yuan following closely behind them. He resembled a rich and young man. Flap. The fan was extended. Wang Xian chuckled. Dears, let's find accommodation first. Can you act more decently? There's a hotel ahead. Let's head there before we climb the Huashan in a while. Lan Qingyu rolled her eyes at him. Soon after, the group of 6 headed towards the hotel ahead of them. When they entered the hotel, Mo Qinglong and Mo Yuan stepped ahead immediately to reserve rooms. Wang Xian stood behind with his fan and beautiful ladies as companions. He was just like a wasted rich young man illustrated in novels. Chapter 433, Gathering of the Outstanding Heroes, 2. Xiaoxian, if I pass you a birdcage now, you'll look like the walking wasted rich young man in the novel. After they came out of the hotel, Guan Shuqing teased the way Wang Xian was dressed. Really? Wang Xian chuckled as he fanned himself. Bam! Suddenly, a figure was hurled towards him at this time. Wang Xian made a quick move and dodged it. He looked over his shoulder and spotted a young man on the floor. The young man held a sword as he spat out a mouthful of blood. "Ha, what, Prince Jade Sword? Look at you now. Are you fit to be the 8th on the Outstanding Young Heroes chart? Ridiculous." Coupled with a scornful voice, a young man stalked over as he checked out the young man on the floor with a slightly lifted chin. His Bei Wuying, the future successor of Bei family in Yuan City. He also succeeded the Northern Kick and advanced to Inborn Realm. I think he just advanced into the Inborn Realm. Guess he will have a placing in the Outstanding Young Heroes chart. Prince Jade Sword, 8th on the chart, was easily defeated by him. There are so many talents this year. Last time, this successor of the Northern Kick couldn't even make it on the chart. It's a surprise to see him with formidable strength. Everyone around gasped in astonishment. It was big news for the 8th ranking on the chart to be easily defeated. Ahum, you defeated me with a dozen strokes even after you advanced to Inborn Realm. How dare you be insolent? I'm younger than you by 5 years old. Within the next years, I'm 100% sure that I'm going to advance to Inborn Realm. Till then, no one will know the outcome, said Prince Jade Sword, who was lying on the floor. Upon hearing Bei Wuying's mockery, he wiped the blood at the corner of his lips with pride. Lad, you're still not convinced. Bei Wuying darkened his expression at Prince Jade Sword's words. He overlooked Prince Jade Sword and asked, "Mph, of course not. You only have a few more years of practice than me. Why should I be convinced?" Unyieldingly, Prince Jade Sword fixed his eyes on Bei Wuying. "Don't you know when you're the weaker one, you should endure the hardship patiently? Otherwise, you'll die if you act insolently when you can't outfight others." Straight away, Bei Wuying moved as he lunged at Prince Jade Sword with both legs turning into after images. Prince Jade Sword was aghast as he quickly brought up his sword at his chest. Bam! Yet, when the terrifying power swept onto his chest, his face was horrified. "Since you said I'm weak, I'll show you the power of Whirling Umbra Kick." Killing intent filled the eyes of Bei Wuying as after images formed at his legs. Instantly, they enveloped Prince Jade Sword. Bei Wuying is out to kill. Oh no, that Prince Jade Sword is going to be killed. That Prince Jade Sword did not want to concede defeat either. He didn't want to admit that he lost. If you're not a match of others, you should have just admitted it. Now, he's finished. Bam, bam, bam. Coupled with the whispers in the surroundings, a loud banging sound was heard. "Ah, if you kill me, my family will not let you off. Mph, do you think your family is a sacred clan? Would the Bei family be afraid of you?" With a frosty face, Bei Wuying did not stop his kick. Prince Jade Sword groaned without stopping as his eyes were filled with trepidation. "Go to hell!" At this time, Bei Wuying gave a low bellow as the after-images of his legs quickly merged into one. The dark shadow of a kick swept towards Prince Jade Sword. "No!" A cry of panic came from his mouth as Prince Jade Sword's body was thrown far away. In the air, everyone could see his deformed body. Courting your own doom. There was a murderous aura surrounding Bei Wuying as he swept his cold gaze at Prince Jade Sword's body. SSS, he's dead. The number 8 on the Outstanding Young Heroes chart was killed by someone who has no ranking. He's far too strong by gathering all the virtual images for an attack. Could Bei Wuying be the dark horse of the Outstanding Young Heroes chart? Everyone looked at him with awe. His strength was so mighty that he could kill the talent ranked 8th on the chart easily. When Bei Wuying noticed the crowd was discussing him in low voices, he exhibited a haughty look. "We have many talents this year. How dare a half-step to inborn expert play punk? Really asking for his own death." As he spoke, he inserted his hands into his pockets as he stalked by the side with a proud look. "Get lost." Hundreds of people gathered around him, and the way to the hotel was blocked. "You're the one in our way." As Bei Wuying was heading their way, Guan Shuqing was displeased upon hearing his reprimand. "Ha!" Bei Wuying raised his eyebrow when he heard Guan Shuqing. He looked over with a pair of ghastly eyes. He looked around and eventually stopped in Guan Shuqing's direction. "Let me tell you this. There's only one way in this underworld, the Victory Road. Losers have no way out. Get lost now, he shouted again. Several young men who walked out of the hotel quickly stepped aside as they dared not refute. Just like Bei Wuying had said, speak with fists. That's right. Upon hearing Bei Wuying's comment, Wang Xian nodded his head in agreement. There's only one way in this underworld, the victory road. In that case, you can get lost, said Wang Xian dryly, picking up his golden ivory fan and pointing at Bei Wuying. Ha! Seeing Wang Xian standing before him, pointing at him with the fan in his hand, there was only coldness in Bei Wuying's eyes. Asking me to get lost? Looks like I have to do my killing spree today. More and more people have a death wish. Heh. Wang Xian chuckled at his words. He peered at the corpse at the side. What he said was right. Your strength is just SOSO. How dare you put on airs when you just became an inborn? Ha! Who is this young man? He's so young. I've never seen him before. Not sure which family or sacred sect he's from. But since he dares to provoke Bei Wuying, he must be an inborn level expert. This is going up against Bei Wuying. What qualification does this young man have? Perhaps he's just some rich man's son. He's even holding a folding fan. How coquettish. To their astonishment, the surrounding people began to comment about Wang Xian when they saw Wang Xian holding the golden ivory fan. Since you said my strength is SOSO, come and have a taste of it. Rage surged in Bei Wuying's eyes. He had been taunted by ignorant fellows time and time again. It looked like he had yet to establish his reputation. I must kill more people to establish the reputation of Bei Wuying so that everyone can respect me. Bei Wuying grinned as he revealed a creepy look. Chapter 434, Gathering of the Supreme Talents, 3. I don't care if you are from a sacred clan or a sacred sect. Just get lost and stop getting in my way, a disdainful voice came from Bei Wuying. He lifted his right leg straight away and swept towards Wang Xian's head. That young man is finished. Young disciples these days are getting more and more arrogant. Seeing Bei Wuying attacking, a middle-aged man shook his head slowly. Bam! However, as he finished his words, a clashing sound reverberated. Everyone was taken aback and quickly looked in the direction where the sound came from. What? He blocked it. He blocked it with just a fan? He could stop an attack from Bei Wuying? What's the strength of that young man? It can't be that the young man is also an inborn expert. Exclaims came from the surrounding crowd as they stared blankly at the young man who stopped Bei Wuying's right kick with a golden fan. Since when would any young man on the streets have such terrifying strength? Seeing his attack being stopped by Wang Xian and feeling the intense pain cruising from his legs, Bei Wuying was astonished and jumped back immediately. It seems like I have underestimated you. Now you can die. Bei Wuying jumped into the air and kicked towards Wang Xian's head once again. His legs were moving so rapidly that they left after images. Hee. Wang Xian lifted his golden ivory fan and tapped towards these after images. Every time he tapped, Bei Wuying's expression turned a little more solemn as fear crept upon him. Shit. Feeling his legs going numb, he immediately retreated. Swish. At this moment, Wang Xian opened his golden ivory fan. As he waved his arm, a golden glow shot out from all 18 parts of the metal structure. What? Bei Wuying was flabbergasted. Seeing the metal glows that were approaching him rapidly, he gritted his teeth and swung out his right leg with forceful wind. Ka. Ah. However, the sounds of bones cracking reverberated. Bei Wuying grimaced in pain and fell to the ground. Both of his legs were drenched in blood. In some areas, the wounds were so deep that one could even see the bone. There were even cracks that appeared on the bone. Bam! Bei Wuying fell heavily onto the floor. He looked fearfully towards his legs and his body was shivering. You! How can you be so strong? His eyes widened and were filled with disbelief. A young brat that popped out of nowhere was able to easily defeat him. How? How can this be possible? Lots of young and promising talents have emerged this year. For a preliminary inborn expert to be so arrogant, you must be tired of living. Wang Xian looked at Bei Wuying, who was on the ground, with contempt and returned the same words to him. Time to go. Let's go climb the mountain. Wang Xian turned around and flapped open the fan in his hand as he spoke to Guan Shuqing, Lan Qingyu, and the group. After which, the group strutted away as though they owned the streets. This. Bei Wuying was defeated so easily. That young man is incredibly strong. Who's that young man? Miracle Dr. Wang from Rivertown uses a sword while that young man uses a fan. I don't think they are the same person. Could it be that he's the demon-like genius from the Xiao clan? He isn't the demon-like genius from the Xiao clan. The demon-like genius from Xiao clan also uses a sword. Moreover, all the people from the Xiao clan practice the fire attribute. Another young inborn expert. There are simply too many young inborn experts that have emerged in the underworld recently. The 8th-ranked talent in the Outstanding Young Heroes competition had been easily defeated. And now, the one who defeated him was easily crushed by another young man. The Outstanding Young Heroes competition this year was truly frightening. Seeing the group disappearing from their sight, the crowd was still dumbfounded. Other than some people in Southern Province, not many people in the underworld knew what Wang Xian looked like. Therefore, they had not managed to make the connection between the young man using a fan and Miracle Dr. Wang from Rivertown. Furthermore, many demon-like talents had emerged in the underworld recently. In their perspective, Wang Xian was just another one. The Outstanding Young Heroes competition this year is indeed going to be more exciting and incredible than before. Wang Xian heard the comments of the crowd and couldn't help but smirk. This was because the Dragonians would give all final participants a surprise. Xiao Xian, let's go to the mountain peak. The sun is setting and we can catch a glimpse of the sunset. Lan Qingyu and the girls rushed Wang Xian as they headed towards the peak of Huashan. There weren't many tourists at the various scenic spots of Huashan. The girls headed towards the highest peak enthusiastically. When they arrived at the peak of the mountain, the sun happened to be setting. The evening sun illuminated the entire Huashan, creating a breathtaking scene before their eyes. Hey, take a look there. That's the Zhongfang Immortal Bridge. Suddenly, Guan Shuqing pointed in a direction as she exclaimed loudly. At the southern cliff of Sanqing Hall on Huashan, one could vaguely spot a rainbow-like bridge. Shadows of people overlapped on the bridge as though there was a gathering of immortals. Zhongfang Immortal Bridge. Wang Xian mumbled to himself as he recalled a poem. The incredible art of the heavens, as though walking on the back of the rainbow. High into the sky of the birds and down to the soil of the capital. People flocking to the extravagant palace while deity Zijing plays the flute under the moon. When silence filled the night with loneliness, only the faint breeze could be heard. This was the description of Zhongfang Immortal Bridge on Huashan. Zhongfang Immortal Bridge was a rather mystical scenic spot of Huashan. At different times, one would see different illusions of Zhongfang Immortal Bridge. Why does it feel like there's a space at that spot? Wang Xian frowned and squinted his eyes at the Zhongfang Immortal Bridge. His senses were telling him that there seemed to be a material spatial world in that place. As the sun fully set, the illusions of the Zhongfang Immortal Bridge gradually dissipated. The enthusiasm of the girls also declined accordingly. Let's head back. I'm hungry. Guan Shuqing rubbed her tummy and said with a grin. All right, let's go back. Wang Xian put aside his queries as he headed down the mountain with the group. However, what happened in the competition ground of Huashan today had caused a huge ruckus in the underworld. Bei Wuying, who practiced the northern kick, killed Prince Jade Sword easily. The next moment, a young man with a golden fan easily crippled Bei Wuiying's legs. Heavenly Sounds Linger. The 5th-ranked talent admits defeat to the fairy from Heavenly Sound Sec. Flower Monk annihilated a first-class force instantly with his Buddha bead. A mysterious young man was lifted by 4 half-step to inborn experts on a carriage up Huashan. The arrival of the sacred clan, Xiao clan. The youngest inborn expert in history shows himself. Various bit of information spread from Huashan as the people in the underworld discussed fervently. The experts that became known to the public because they'd fought today were enough to shock everyone, and added colors to the Outstanding Young Heroes competition this year. The mysterious young man with golden fan, the saintess that resembled a fairy from the Heavenly Sound sect, the terrifying Flower Monk, the mysterious young man in the carriage and the youngest inborn expert in history. And the young lord of Sea Serpent Island who had announced he would be coming but had not shown himself. The number of terrifying young experts had now reached 6. This was after the exclusion of the defeated inborn expert, Bei Wuiying. As for the exact number of supreme talents that had not been discovered, no one really knew. Nonetheless, the entire underworld could already expect that the contest of this year's Outstanding Young Heroes competition would be exceptionally intense and brutal. It would be a once-in-a-decade festival. No one knew who would become the champion of the younger generation. Chapter 435, Saints and Saintesses. Have Xiao Yu and the rest arrived? The next day morning, Wang Xian asked Guan Shuqing, who was talking to Xiao Yu on the phone. Yes, they just reached the hotel, and they are having breakfast with the members of Thistles and Thorns sect. We'll meet at the entrance to the Outstanding Young Heroes competition. The competition is finally starting today. I can't wait. Wang Xian chuckled as he looked at the restaurant in the hotel. Most of the martial artists were younger ones while the older generation was tagging along. The Outstanding Young Heroes competition is not child's play, and it is normal to sustain injuries or get killed in the competition. The competition this year is fucking crazy. I thought I could get into the top 20 since I'm a level 9 martial artist. Now, there's no chance at all. To get into top 20, you must be at least a half-step to inborn, or a supreme class half-step to inborn. Guess who I saw just now? Saint Chi and Saint Wen from the sacred sect, Dark Sect. Gosh, the number of young talents at inborn levels have almost reached 10. Based on past experience, there will be many formidable disciples from the sacred clans and sacred sects. Only Heavenly Sound Sect, Xiao Clan, and Dark Sect showed up now. I think there will be another 3 to 4 Saint class forces showing up. Besides, the Saint class forces will definitely send their Saintess and Saint to the Outstanding Young Heroes competition this year. Apart from those Saint class forces, the disciples of first class forces would not be weak either. They are at least a half step to pinnacle inborn. The main characters for this chart this year will be those demon-like disciples and the Saintesses and Saints from Saint class forces. The rest can just sit back and watch the show. This year, we can only sit around and watch. Dig in. We need to get there soon. At this time, several young men walked over and placed their swords on the table while exchanging conversations with a sullen look. Disciples from insignificant sects like them were not eligible to fight with the Saintesses and Saints. Let's go, said Wang Xian to Guan Shuqing and the rest after taking a look at those young men. Xiao Xian, will you be participating this time? Asked Lan Qingyu to Wang Xian. Wang Xian had recovered, but even he was unsure how strong he was now. Nope. Wang Xian shook his head and headed to Huashan. They arrived at the entrance where they held the Outstanding Young Heroes competition. We'll wait here for a while. Xiao Yu will be here soon, Guan Shuqing said as they arrived at a stone staircase at the side. It was crowded with all the martial artists from around the country. All of them were in high spirits as they marched inside. Some of the martial artists stood at the entrance, observing those young martial artists who entered. That's him. That monk who is extremely gruesome. He lacks the benevolence of a monk. Yesterday, a first-class force provoked him, and he just annihilated them straight away. The sect leader, who was an inborn expert, was killed. This monk possessed the strength to be crowned as the champion among the younger generation. The surroundings broke out with exclamations when everyone turned to look at the monk in his robe. Wang Xian checked him out with curiosity. A fair-looking monk in his kasaya. He had no burn marks, but rather an odd-looking pattern on his head. Instead of serenity, he exhibited more of an evil vibe. The monk arched his lips as he walked in with an evil, yet charming smile. They're here. That palanquin. At this time, a vintage sedan was carried in by 4 young men. No one could see the profile of that person inside the sedan. Haha, is that a babe in the sedan? Just then, a harsh and manly voice was heard from behind. 4 young men were on the heels of that sedan. They were teasing loudly with their lips quirked as they looked over. The one in the lead was riding a lion whose fur was thick. His imposing eyes were gazing around with a vibe of a lion king that was simply unapproachable. Another 3 young men were riding leopards with 2 golden birds standing on one of their shoulders. SSS, they are the disciples from the Imperial Beast Sect, Sacred Sect. That must be the roaring lion, which is an inborn spiritual beast. Scary. What a surprise to see the Imperial Beast Sect this year. In the past few years, they did not send any disciples over. A sedan carried by 4 half-step to inborns and the disciples of Sacred Sect riding inborn spiritual beasts. This is getting scarier. The crowd looked over with shock. The 4 young men who were carrying the sedan paused for a moment and headed inside without much bother. The young men from Imperial Beast Sect did not say anything as they rode the powerful inborn spiritual beasts inside. The Saintess of Heavenly Sound Sect is here. She's beautiful. She really lives up to the name of the Saintess of Heavenly Sound Sect. Not only is the Saintess of Heavenly Sound Sect pretty, but her voice is also intoxicating. I hope she can be crowned as the champion. Just then, Heavenly Sound Sect's disciples with their musical instruments at their backs walked in. The crowd was looking at them with an obsession. She advanced to inborn realm in such a short time. It looks like she was given a lot of resources after she was promoted to Saintess. Upon seeing the popular Tang Yinxian carrying the zither of Haozhong behind her, Wang Xian revealed a faint smile on his face. As if sensing his gaze, Tang Yinxian peered in his direction. After seeing Wang Xian, she slightly froze before she drew a smile. Wow, wow. The Saintess is smiling at me. Did you see it? Did you see it? A young man at the side was elated. Pretty. Guan Shuqing and Lan Qingyu stood on his left and right with their death stares on him. Oh, that roaring lion is really overbearing. Without a change in his expression, Wang Xian continued. You do have a strong desire to survive. Qiao Clan, Sacred Clan is here. See, it's another inborn. Damn it. There are more than 10 young inborn experts. Are the outstanding 5 devil dragons here? If they are here, they will add on to the number of young inborn expert. If outstanding 5 devil dragons and dragon 7 stars are here, it will be damn interesting. They'll just add up to another 12 inborn expert. I wonder where did they come from? They are just too imber. I heard all of them were very powerful. Everyone around chipped in their comments. They are here, disciples of Hua family, medical saint sect. Another inborn existence. The current clan leader of Xiao Clan, Xiao Ran, is here too. Gosh, is he the current most talented teenager? He's so young. Xiao Ran, clan leader of Xiao Clan, Tang Yinxian, Saintess of Heavenly Sound Sect, Hua Mingshan from Medical Saint Sect, Shiming from Imperial Beast Sect, Qiao Fuzi from Qiao Clan and Saint Qi and Saint Wen from Dark Sect. The current most outstanding disciples of the 6 Saint class forces. On top of that, there was Flower Monk, a mysterious person in the sedan, the young man with the golden fan, and Hai Long, the young overlord. That would make 10 of them. If they added up the supreme talents from last year and those that were still hidden, there would be more than a dozen inborn experts. Considering those new emerging people in the underworld lately like the outstanding 5 devil dragons and dragon 7 stars, that made more than a score of inborn supreme talents battling for the championship. Chapter 436. The Champion of the Younger Generation, 1. Brother. While Wang Xian was watching the saints and saintesses from various powerful forces walking in, he heard Xiao Yu calling him from his side. Let's get in too. Wang Xian said to Guan Shuqing and the girls before walking towards where Xiao Yu was. Xiao Yu followed the crowd from the Thistles and Thorns sect and waved towards Wang Xian and the girls. Let's go. It's about time. Wang Xian scrutinized Xiao Yu and Elder Fang from top to bottom. Both of them were wearing uniformly black attire which resembled trimmed armor. They also each had a black long sword in their hands. The skin-tight armor perfectly traced their figures. It was especially so for Elder Fang, who had a great figure. The black armor made her resemble the goddess of darkness. A dark charming aura emanated naturally from her. Her curves were what every man would desire. The outfit is pretty good. Wang Xian took a few more glances before complimenting Xiao Yu. Hee. Don't you think that I have the looks of a heroine now? Xiao Yu swung the bone sword in her hand as she joked. Since it's black, you look more like the Dongfang Bubai. Hee. Just watch how I'll go on a killing spree today and clinch the #1 spot on the Outstanding Young Heroes chart. Xiao Yu remarked proudly. Let's go. Wang Xian chuckled before walking in. The armor-like outfit was formed from their extended skeletal structure. With their armor alone, anyone under the half-step to Dan realm wouldn't be able to hurt them at all. Hey, isn't that guy with the golden fan that mysterious young man from before? At this juncture, a young man near Wang Xian stared at him and asked. The crowd looked over and started observing Wang Xian curiously. This golden fan teenager seems to be Miracle Dr. Wang from Rivertown. The one beside him is the saintess of the Thistles and Thorns sect, Wang Yu. She's also the sister of Miracle Dr. Wang. It has to be. He must be Miracle Dr. Wang from Rivertown. Just look at the long sword at his waist. The mysterious golden fan teenager is Miracle Dr. Wang. It's no surprise now that he could defeat Bei Wuying, who has just reached the inborn realm. His Miracle Dr. Wang, the #1 on the Outstanding Young Heroes chart. Majestic and breathtaking. If it wasn't for Xiao Ran from the Xiao clan, Miracle Dr. Wang would be the youngest inborn expert. This time, everyone's attention had fallen on Wang Xian. Brother, with the folded fan and your 5-colored divine dragon shirt, you look really flirtatious. Xiao Yu teased him. What do you know about it? Wang Xian chuckled. His white casual attire had the printing of 5-colored divine dragons. At the chest area, there were the words Dragon Sect embroidered. Mo Qinglong had it custom made. Rumble. What's that? Inborn spiritual beast. Oh my god. They are using 2 inborn spiritual beasts to pull the carriage. At this moment, the group heard a commotion from behind them. Following which, exclaims of the crowd could be heard. Wang Xian and the group looked over and were shocked to see a carriage moving rapidly towards them. 2 golden seahorses with terrifying aura were pulling the carriage. The 2 golden seahorses were over 2 meters large and they didn't have legs. Below the golden seahorses, there was a ball of blue seawater. The seawater pulled their bodies as they moved rapidly forward. 2 ropes were tied to their backs and were connected to a carriage. A young man sat on it with exquisite golden curtains in front of him to block the dust and sunlight. Behind the carriage, 2 middle-aged men followed closely. They had terrifying vibes around them. It's the young lord of Sea Serpent Island. He's the only son, Hai Long, of the Lord of Sea Serpent Island, who was widely regarded as the 2nd strongest in the country. The entrance of the young Lord of Sea Serpent Island is too extravagant. 2 inborn spiritual beasts to pull his carriage and another 2 inborn experts following behind. Even the saint and saintess of sacred clans and sacred sects couldn't hold a candle to him. He's the only son of the 2nd strongest man in the underworld. The resources he enjoys are even more than the saints of the sacred sects. If it wasn't for the sudden appearance of Miracle Dr. Wang from Rivertown, the #1 spot on the Outstanding Young Heroes chart would still belong to this young lord. The crowd was discussing fervently. As their eyes fell on the young lord of Sea Serpent Island, they turned next to Wang Xian and made a comparison. What do you guys think? Between the young lord of Sea Serpent Island and Miracle Dr. Wang, who is stronger? My guess would be the young lord of Sea Serpent Island. After all, he's the only son of the 2nd strongest man in the underworld. His strength isn't something that Miracle Dr. Wang could match. Just take a look at this lineup. It's not even a fair comparison. Although Miracle Dr. Wang from Rivertown is powerful, there are too many supreme talents this year. I'm guessing that Miracle Dr. Wang from Rivertown would at most make it to the top 5. That's my guess too. I'll bet on the young lord of Sea Serpent Island to clinch the championship in a while. The surrounding crowd was enthusiastic about the event. What an ostentatious display. Xiao Yu looked towards the young lord of Sea Serpent Island and exclaimed in shock. Let's go. Wang Xian chuckled before walking in. Behind them, the young lord of Sea Serpent Island followed and entered the area. More and more people were heading in. When those who were here for a show saw the time, they also headed in the same direction. More and more people had gathered at the entrance. At this moment, 5 young men walked forward without expressions. Soon, another 7 young men walked in. In the end, other than some random people entering the place, another group of 30 young men also headed in. Wow, what a huge area! When Wang Xian and the group entered, Xiao Yu instantly exclaimed in shock. There was an incomparably huge field with a 20-meter-tall stone monument in the middle. That's the named cliff. The top 20 supreme talents would earn the rights to leave their name on it based on the rankings. Around it, there were several elevated arenas to be used for battles. At the two sides, there were 4 exceptionally huge service counters. The competition of the supreme talents would always attract the strongest members of the younger generation to participate. The first reason being one could become famous, and the second was the rewards. The organizer of this competition would also be receiving bets for the competition. Everyone would be able to place their bets. The organizer would give all spiritual stones, spiritual grass, and other items that were earned in the event to the supreme talents. Besides that, if the challenger were to lose in the Outstanding Young Heroes competition, he'd have to pay a price. The price could be the weapon one was using or any other items. One could even get an inborn spiritual weapon here. Moreover, if one party was dead, everything that belonged to the defeated would be transferred to the victor. Because of this rule, the battles of the Outstanding Young Heroes chart were a lot more brutal. However, this was the underworld. Conflicts would never be lacking. If one had mediocre battle strength, he wouldn't become a supreme talent even if he had amazing gifts. Should we go place our bets? Xiao Yu looked around her and saw a substantial number of people gathering before the service counters. Let's go and take a look. Wang Xian smiled and walked towards the direction. When they had just entered the place, the group of young men had noticed their group. To put it more accurately, they had noticed Wang Xian. The title of the number 1 on the Outstanding Young Heroes chart still belonged to him. Chapter 437, The Champion of the Younger Generation, 2. Young Master, that's Miracle Dr. Wang from Rivertown. Has Uncle Bien found the killer? Not yet, but the possibility of it being Miracle Dr. Wang's doing is quite high. Sect Master Bien has prepared to strike. Oh, really? The information that Sect Master Bien received was that young Master Bien lost contact ever since he reached Shongjing. Back then, Miracle Dr. Wang was in Shongjing too. Brother Quan was my playmate since we were young. How dare someone murder him? The killer deserves to die. Back at the center of the field stood 3 people from Medical Saint Sect. Among which, the young man, Hua Mingshan, in the middle was staring in Wang Xian's direction. Flashes of cold radiance blinked in his eyes. Miracle Dr. Wang has domineering talents, and his arts of refining elixir pills was better than young Master Bien. An old man at the side whispered to Hua Mingshan. Since he can kill Brother Quan, who was protected by the poison duo, I don't think he's that simple. He must possess a strength near pinnacle inborn. Hua Mingshan squinted his eyes slightly together as murderous intent flashed in his eyes as he stared daggers at Wang Xian. With an inborn spiritual weapon in his possession, no average inborn experts is of his match, said that old man slowly as he noticed the Zhonlu sword at Wang Xian's waist. Bien family of Medical Saint Sect is better at refining medicines while the Hua family is more proficient in combat. I'll take care of this Miracle Dr. Wang, so that Brother Quan can rest in peace too, Hua Mingshan said at a slow pace. Young Master, should we inform Sect Master Bien? Asked the old man with a frown. No. Let's meet this guy first. Hua Mingshan lifted his chin slightly. Bien family and Hua family of Medical Saint Sect had different fortes. Bien family was better at refining medicines while Hua family was more skilled in combat. Their most outstanding disciples of Medical Saint Sect were Bien Yaoquan and Hua Mingshan. In Medical Saint Sect, it was easy to groom an inborn expert with elixir pills. Outstanding Young Heroes chart was not the focus of Medical Saint Sects. As such, they would only send a disciple here to exhibit their prowess every few years. A disciple from Medical Saint Sect had already attended last year. Hua Mingshan had not been preparing to come this year. But he changed his mind when he found that Wang Xian was attending. Since young, Hua Mingshan had been taking all kinds of precious elixir pills, and he had advanced to inborn a few years ago. Besides, Hua family's cultivation was wood attributed. With the special spiritual grass as supplements, Their combat power would be extremely domineering. All Saint-class forces had their own strong advantages. Young Lord, that is Miracle Dr. Wang of Rivertown. Two powerful inborn spiritual beasts were lying at the other side of the field while the young Lord of Hai Long lifted open the veil and looked at the surroundings with some slack. None of the forces dared to approach this place. All of them stood far away and looked over with awe. Not even the people from sacred sects or sacred clans dared to come near them. As the only son of the second most formidable person in the underworld, his status was even higher than that of saint. Besides, the Lord of Hai Jiao was a legend in his own lifetime. Even the sacred sects had to beware of him. Oh! Hai Long looked over with a faint smile on his face. The competition this year is far more interesting than before. So many people are here, which makes the game even more exciting. Saint Qi and Saint Wen of Dark Sect were standing alongside Sun Longxian, having conversations as they cast their attention in Wang Xian's direction. Some of the disciples from the sacred clan also looked over with curiosity. Xiao Ran was standing in the center among Xiao clan's people. He was beaming as he looked at his master with a sense of pride surfacing on his face. If my master participates in this ranking, no one will be his match. He'll be a bully if he does. Several elders around him immediately flattered him. But what they said was from the bottom of their hearts too. Even Laozu also remarked on the domineering prowess of Miracle Dr. Wang for coaching a 15-year-old inborn expert. Naturally, he was of the same realm as Laozu. For such an expert to attend the Outstanding Young Heroes competition, that would be abuse. This time, I'll strive to get a good ranking so that I'll not bring shame to my master. Xiao Ran chuckled as his youthful appearance was filled with fighting spirit. All the eyes of the elders in Xiao family were filled with admiration and impressiveness as they looked at the young clan leader. Miracle Dr. Wang of Rivertown? Just when Wang Xian and Xiao Yu were standing at the front desk, checking the odds for all the supreme talents, they heard a cold voice. Wang Xian raised his eyebrows as he spun around. The familiar outfit with a huge saint on it indicated the difference in their level of forces. Medical Saint Sect. Wang Xian looked at the young man who was staring at him. He cast his sight to the side, and there was an old man and a middle-aged man too. What's up? Nothing much. I just wanted to meet you and check with you about something. Hua Mingshan squinted his eyes a little. Have you seen my brother Bian Yaroquan? Ha! Your brother is missing, and you're looking for him at my side. Wang Xian threw Hua Mingshan a taunting look. He swept his gaze across the surroundings and noticed many people turning their attention in their direction. You know what I'm saying, don't you? Hua Mingshan glowered at Wang Xian with a cold look. In his hand, he was holding on to an emerald twig that looked like some jewelry. What's going on? Why did Hua Mingshan of Medical Saint Sect look for Miracle Dr. Wang? Are they going to spar? The competition has not even started yet. Do they have some conflicts? Through their conversations, it seems like another disciple of Medical Saint Sect was involved. The crowd over at the front desk was caught by surprise when they overheard their conversations. Generally, the battle between a saint and a supreme talent happened in the arena. Why did Hua Mingshan look for Miracle Dr. Wang? I have seen 3 people from Medical Saint Sect. One young man who was tired of living and another 2 old men. I'm not sure if you're referring to that person. Wang Xian arched his lips slightly as he replied to Hua Mingshan plainly. Tired of living? Hua Mingshan slowly turned the branch in his hand with killing intent flashing in his eyes. Looks like the death of Bian Yaroquan of Medical Saint Sect really has got something to do with you. Haha, Wang Xian chuckled. If you're talking about that fellow who was tired of living, just say it. It's not a big deal anyway. He's dead. He beamed as he spat out the words with a casual face. Hua Mingshan was stunned, and so were the surrounding people. Apparently, they were caught off guard when Wang Xian announced the death so easily. Hua Mingshan of Medical Saint Sect was clearly questioning Miracle Dr. Wang of Rivertown about whether he had killed another disciple. With no clear evidence, no one would own up to offending a sacred sect under this circumstance. Yet, Miracle Dr. Wang admitted it straight away by saying that the person was dead. In other words, it was clear that he had killed that person. This. Everyone found it unbelievable. All of them felt that this miracle Dr. Wang was rather too full of himself. Why? Do you want me to send the body to you? Wang Xian threw him a disdainful look. Bian Yaroquan from the medical saint sect attempted to ambush me previously. It was only natural that I send him to hell. Chapter 438, The Champion of the Younger Generation, 3. Bian Yaroquan from the medical saint sect attempted to ambush me previously. It's only natural that I send him to hell. Wang Xian's voice reverberated across the crowd. He was completely casual in tone when he said it. However, a lot of people felt their hearts skip a beat because of what he said, as they were clearly dumbfounded. Miracle Dr. Wang admitted to killing the disciple of the medical saint sect? Is this confidence or arrogance? No matter what, he's too darn cool. He killed the disciple of the medical saint sect just because he tried to ambush him. Moreover, he admitted to it without any fear. The surrounding crowd was astonished as their eyes widened and stared at Wang Xian. At the same time, they couldn't help but exclaim at the thought of the incident. A short distance away, several young men and the disciples of various sacred sects raised an eyebrow. They hesitated for a moment before walking over. This was a huge incident. Miracle Dr. Wang from Rivertown had admitted to killing a disciple from the medical saint sect. Great. I had not expected our brother from the medical saint sect to be really killed by you. When Hua Mingshan heard Wang Xian, his face immediately sank as he stared at Wang Xian, brimming with killing intent. Miracle Dr. Wang from Rivertown, you are the first person to ever dare to kill the disciple of our medical saint sect. You are also the one that is most deserving of death. The old and middle-aged men beside Hua Mingshan also squinted their eyes, which were beaming with killing intent. They had not expected Miracle Dr. Wang from Rivertown to admit to killing the disciple of medical saint sect so casually. His casual tone was a clear insult to their medical saint sect. Hee. If you wish to kill me, you'd better be prepared to be killed. Do you think I wouldn't dare to make a move just because you guys are from a sacred sect? Wang Xian looked at Hua Mingshan with ridicule as he continued. Since he dared to offend me, he better be prepared to die. The elders of the Sacred Followers Guild were one example. Your medical saint sect won't be an exception. Damn. How dominant is he? So what if they are sacred sects? I have long heard that Miracle Dr. Wang from Rivertown is exceptionally arrogant, and today I have finally witnessed it with my own eyes. He's my idol. To be daring enough to admit he killed a disciple of the medical saint sect, it's clear that he's making the medical saint sect his enemy. Now I'm really curious why the incident with the Sacred Followers Guild ended without a clear explanation. It feels like Miracle Dr. Wang from Rivertown is going to get himself killed after offending sacred sect after sacred sect. The medical saint sect isn't like the Sacred Followers Guild. The medical saint sect adopted a family-style format. The medical saint sect would never just let it go like the Sacred Followers Guild after he killed a disciple of the Bian family. Sigh. I hope Miracle Dr. Wang has the strength to back his words. It's a natural thing to do since the disciple of the medical saint sect wanted to kill him first. However, when the crowd heard Wang Xian, they exclaimed in astonishment. No one dared to say the same things Wang Xian had. If the disciples of a sacred sect offended you, you could either tolerate it or assassinate them without being discovered by the sacred sect. Miracle Dr. Wang from Rivertown was definitely the first one to admit his actions so openly. Haha. How incredible. It's no surprise you are ranked top on the Outstanding Young Heroes chart. Just considering your guts, no one would be a match. The only uncertainty is whether you will be finished off by the medical saint sect subsequently. At this moment, a coarse voice sounded from the side. The crowd immediately looked over and realized it was Shiming from the Imperial Beast sect. He seemed to have a little admiration for Wang Xian after the incident. TSK. He's simply courting his own death. For a person to go against a sacred sect, he must be tired of living. At the other end, Qiao Fuzi from the Qiao clan stared at Wang Xian with disdain as he remarked coldly. The crowd followed the voice and looked over once again. They saw Qiao Fuzi from the Qiao clan crossing his arms before his chest with disdain beaming in his eyes. So what if he was to go against a sacred sect? I wouldn't offend others if they didn't offend me. If the disciple of a sacred sect is courting death, he deserves his death. There's no way one should endure the humiliation. Xiao Ran from the Xiao clan had just arrived when he heard Qiao Fuzi. He replied plainly as he stared coldly at him. Huh! Qiao Fuzi's felt a little insulted as he turned and glowered at Xiao Ran. His eyes beamed as he commented, "A disciple of a sacred clan dares to make such claims? A guy who becomes arrogant by relying on his family or sect will just be trash at the end of the day." Xiao Ran replied plainly to Qiao Fuzi, "SSS fuck. These words are too domineering. A person who becomes arrogant because of his background will just be trash. Damn." This quote from the demon-like talent from Xiao clan is just darned passionate. It's no surprise he's a demon-like talent that has reached the inborn realm at the age of 15. For him to be able to say such words and have such a mentality, we aren't a match for him. Strength rules in the underworld. People might be fearful because you are a disciple of a sacred sect, but they would never respect you. Only true experts can command respect. He's indeed deserving of the title of the youngest inborn expert in history. The surrounding crowd looked towards Xiao Ran with shock and admiration. There were few people who could say those words. Moreover, he was a disciple of a sacred clan. One could say that there wouldn't be a second person like him. It's no surprise he could become an inborn expert at such a young age. Other than the resources he also has the right mentality and attitude. You. Qiao Fuzi glowered at Xiao Ran as his expression changed drastically. They were both disciples of sacred clans, but Xiao Ran's noble words had completely embarrassed him. At this moment, you should be saying you will wait for our contest in the Outstanding Young Heroes competition and speak with your strength. I will agree to your request. Looking at Qiao Fuzi, who had turned furious from embarrassment, Xiao Ran commented plainly. Lololol. How domineering. I can now understand why the Laozu of Xiao clan has designated him to be the clan leader. He's simply too cool. He's my idol from now onwards. To speak with strength and not be arrogant because of his background. Haha. Wow. This little brother is so handsome. I'll wait for you to grow up and I'll marry you. With your looks, don't even bother thinking of marrying the young clan leader of a sacred clan. He's a 15-year-old inborn expert and could very well reach a higher realm when given time. All I wanted to ask is if the young clan leader is alright with guys. If he's only interested in girls, it's fine too. I can go to Thailand. The surrounding crowd erupted into a raucous discussion from what Xiao Ran said. This was the demeanor that a supreme talent should possess. Great, great. Just you wait. I'm going to let you kneel before me when the time comes. Qiao Fuzi's was flushed as he stared harshly at Xiao Ran. His expression had also turned hideous. Judging from what had transpired, this disciple of Qiao clan is a far cry from the young clan leader of the Xiao clan in the aspects of both mentality and demeanor of an expert. It would seem Xiao clan has a true supreme talent. This guy will definitely not be ordinary in the future. Around them, the elders of the saint and saintess were looking at Xiao Ran in awe. Several elders of the Xiao clan, who were standing beside Xiao Ran, were extremely proud. This was their young clan leader and his actions had been exceptionally dominant. At the side, there were also several disciples from sacred sects and clans who looked at this overly young inborn expert with surprise and astonishment. Tang Yinxian smiled faintly as she looked to Xiao Ran, turned to Hua Mingshan from the medical saint sect and eventually turned to Wang Xian. He's still as domineering as before. Recalling how this young man had annihilated the entire Dark Conjurers because of 2 disciples, and killed the saint and saintess of her heavenly sound sect, she could feel her heart thumping violently. In this generation of youths, who could be a match for him? Great. How domineering. Let me tell you this. No matter who you are and no matter what your reasons, you will die for killing the disciple of our medical saint sect. Chapter 439. The Champion of the Younger Generation, 4. Great. How domineering. Let me tell you this. No matter who you are and whatever reasons you have, you will die for killing the disciple of our medical saint sect. Hua Mingshan's exasperated voice resounded as he stood there, watching Wang Xian with a pair of murderous eyes. Everyone was taken aback, and at the same time, they were impressed. Miracle Dr. Wang was impressive, and he had guts. But even so, the Medical Saint sect would not let him off. Medical Saint sect was a dominant sacred sect that had a long history. Such an existence with a deep foundation was definitely daunting. Besides, they had powerful alchemists who could cultivate experts that were beyond any imagination. You will die. Hua Mingshan glowered at Wang Xian as he spat out the words. Wang Xian raised his eyebrows with a faint smile on his face. Behind him, Mo Qinglong and Mo Yuan exhibited a frosty look as they came forward, fixing their deadly eyes on the old man and the middle-aged man beside Hua Mingshan. In this case, we shall see. Wang Xian grinned at Hua Mingshan. Boom. Mo Qinglong and Mo Yuan released their aura instantly as they locked their domineering vibe on the old man and the middle-aged man. Brother, let me protect you. He, I'll handle this fellow, said Xiao Yu to Wang Xian with a smile. A tinge of coldness flashed in her eyes when she noticed Hua Mingshan staring at Wang Xian with killing intent. At present, she already possessed a strong power, which allowed her to resolve some matters for her elder brother. She was no longer the younger sister who needed protection from her brother. As Xiao Yu spoke, she stepped forward with the bone sword in her hand, giving off a faint demonic aura. She fixed her deadly eyes on Hua Mingshan. The crowd froze as everyone was shocked. They struck. The few people beside Miracle Dr. Wang struck instantly. Damn, what is this going on? Are they trying to exterminate the people from Medical Saint sect? They are going to fight. It's an obvious life-or-death battle. Impressive. Hua Mingshan has been rattling away for such a long time without making any moves. As a result, Miracle Dr. Wang of Rivertown is going to strike. They're completely in the bad books of Medical Saint sect. When the crowd saw Xiao Yu, Mo Qinglong, and Mo Yuan, they were appalled. Sure. Wang Xian nodded in reply to Xiao Yu as he looked at Hua Mingshan with a sneer on his face. Since they are enemies, just kill them off. What's the point of talking so much? Fine. Hua Mingshan had mixed expression as he clenched his fist while glaring at Wang Xian. He swept his gaze slowly towards Xiao Yu. Today, we'll slaughter all of you. Initially, he had wanted to kill Miracle Dr. Wang off at the Outstanding Young Heroes competition. But he did not expect the other party to be so arrogant. You talk too much. Xiao Yu scoffed as she moved, lunging at Hua Mingshan. Me. Mo Qinglong and Mo Yuan scorned and made a swift movement towards the old man and the middle-aged man beside Hua Mingshan. The domineering vibe struck fear into everyone around them, who quickly receded. Who's that young lady? She looks so young. How did she explode such daunting power? That's Miracle Dr. Wang's younger sister. It's a surprise that she has also advanced to the inborn realm, another demon-like talent. Damn, why are there so many young inborns now? Everyone was appalled by the vibe exhibited by Xiao Yu. All of them staggered back. Upon seeing Xiao Yu assaulting him, Hua Mingshan revealed a bloodthirsty and malevolent look. He swung his arm and stuck the emerald twig on the floor. Ka. With a single move of his arm, the twig penetrated the hard and durable ground, rooted, and multiplied. Soon, a 2-meter weird tree grew up, bearing twigs with sharp thorns that looked extremely prickly. This is the combat style of Hua family, Medical Saint sect. The art of cultivation they practiced is of wood attributes. If they were in the woods, their strength would be more powerful. This kind of cultivation has a weak combat power at the preliminary stage. But when they advance to the inborn realm, they are able to control the plants around them, which makes them a difficult opponent. This twig must come from a spiritual tree that can be used for controlling combat. The crowd erupted into discussions when they witnessed Hua Mingshan's way of attacking. While not many people had seen how the Hua family struck, they had mostly heard about it. Even the people from other Saint-class forces were curious to find out. After all, Medical Saint sect was considered a semi-secluded sacred sect, which was rarely involved in any combat. I'll slaughter you first, then the other fellow who is tired of living. Hua Mingshan stood before the spiritual tree as he glared at Xiao Yu with an icy face. With a swing, he injected green energy into the spiritual tree. He raised his arm and brought it down, sending twigs with sharp thorns towards Xiao Yu. Ha! Xiao Yu hesitated when she saw the twigs attack. She wielded her bone sword at it straight away. Oh, ignorance! Upon seeing her move, Hua Mingshan's eyes were filled with contempt. How could any weapon counter the spiritual scale tree? Not only could weapons not counter the twigs, but the twig could also wrap itself around weapons. Hua Mingshan raised his arm, bringing about dozens of sharp twigs dancing in the air. They darted out towards Xiao Yu, just like flexible snakes. Xiao Yu snorted as the bone sword gave off black radiance with an edge, slashing all the twigs. Bang, bang, bang. What? How is this possible? When the bone sword and the twigs collided, the twigs of spiritual scale tree broke off easily. Disbelief filled Hua Mingshan's face as he was astounded. It only has the looks. Upon seeing the frail twigs, Xiao Yu was full of disdain. Moving in a quick stance, she lunged with her sword at Hua Mingshan. No, it can't be. This is impossible. Hua Mingshan could not believe this. The stem of spiritual scale tree stretched forward from behind as the 2-meter sharp thorn extended towards Xiao Yu. Counter, point, slay. Xiao Yu maintained a consistent look while shaking an afterimage out from the bone sword. Bang, bang, bang. All the twigs from spiritual scale tree broke off easily and fell to the ground. This Hua Mingshan is so weak. Thrashing. That's so weak. I don't feel that he's as strong as a half-step to inborn. Yes, I agree. Medical Saint sect is well known for their medical skills and art of refining. For their combat skills, they feel so weak. He's inadequate, and yet, he actually declared that he wants to kill other people. Isn't this digging his own grave? Everyone was stunned and slightly at a loss of words when they witnessed how easily Xiao Yu defeated Hua Mingshan. From what they saw, the battle between Xiao Yu and Hua Mingshan was simple. Her sword cut the twigs easily, and it was a done deal. This Hua Mingshan was a noob. At this time, there were 2 devastating cries from the side. The old man and middle-aged man from Medical Saint sect had fallen to the ground with eyes full of desperation. Chapter 440, The Champion of the Younger Generation. Rumble. A dull impact noise and 2 pitiful cries reverberated throughout the competition field of the Outstanding Young Heroes competition. The entire crowd had turned towards the source of the noises and everyone was shocked to see the old and middle-aged men from the Medical Saint sect on the floor. Those 2 middle-aged men with Miracle Dr. Wang are really strong. Really, really strong. The old and middle-aged men from the Medical Saint sect were completely overwhelmed. Those 2 middle-aged men that are emitting devilish aura are at least pinnacle inborn experts. They might very well be even stronger. Is it my misconception? Why do I feel that the people from the Medical Saint sect are really weak? They were completely crushed. The surrounding crowd were stunned and were discussing softly among themselves when they saw the old and middle-aged men being killed on the spot. What? How dare you kill the people from our Medical Saint sect? At this moment, Hua Mingshan was furious upon hearing the cries. Fear flashed in his eyes as he growled softly. Hee. Hearing Hua Mingshan, the surrounding crowd found him hilarious. It didn't matter if Miracle Dr. Wang from Rivertown was arrogant or simply courting his demise. Now that he had struck, he would be going after your life next. Saying those words at this point was hilarious. The people from sacred sects have been arrogant for too long to the point that they believe no one dares to kill them, a young man mumbled to himself as his eyes fixed on Hua Mingshan. The surrounding disciples of the sacred sects were taken aback as they witnessed the disciples of the Medical Saint sect being slaughtered before their eyes. They looked to Wang Xian, raised an eyebrow and sank into thought. Don't you find it hilarious to say such words now? Xiao Yu looked coldly at Hua Mingshan as she waved the long sword in her hand towards Hua Mingshan. Our Medical Saint sect won't let you off. Not a single one of you is getting away. Just wait for the endless revenge from our Medical Saint sect. Hua Mingshan screeched wretchedly. Cold sweat had filled his forehead. Seeing the impossibly sharp bone sword, he gritted his teeth. Swish, swish, swish. The branches of the spiritual scale tree wiggled rapidly and weaved together to become an exceptionally huge wooden spear. Is that all you got? Seeing the changes to the spiritual scale tree, contempt gleamed in Xiao Yu's eyes as she threw herself forward with the bone sword. The spiritual scale tree was just like a poisonous snake with sharp thorns. It grew to over 5 meters long and struck towards Xiao Yu. "Kill!" shouted Xiao Yu. The bone sword in her hand emitted a black glow that extended to over a meter long. The black glow had turned the bone sword into a giant blade that slashed against the spiritual scale tree. Ka. Sounds of the spiritual scale tree cracking reverberated while the bone sword slashed toward Hua Mingshan as though there was nothing in its way. No. Hua Mingshan was desperate. He dodged, turned around and fled immediately. Running? It's a little too late for that. Seeing Hua Mingshan running away, ruthlessness gleamed in the eyes of Mo Yuan. He moved and caught up with Hua Mingshan instantly. Bam! A terrifying devil claw gripped onto his back instantly. The next moment, it pierced through his body. Cough cough. Hua Mingshan's body stiffened and he was spitting out a mouthful of blood. He turned around and looked towards the direction where Wang Xian was with disbelief. Our medical saint sect will never let you off. Bam! Hua Mingshan fell to the ground and vitality deserted him. When the crowd saw Hua Mingshan being killed before them, they felt a chill run down their spines. Thinking back, Hua Mingshan was still basking in the limelight a while ago. He arrived here as the disciple of the medical saint sect and one would regard him as a distinguished guest. When he was here, he was looking down on everyone around him. It was also because of his connection with the medical saint sect that he was brazen and felt that no one dared to offend him. This eventually led to his death. He's indeed savage and brutal. How lucky are we? Fortunately, Saint Qi and Saint Wen, who were standing beside Sun Longxian a short distance away, swallowed their saliva. They could feel cold sweat over their foreheads. Fortunately, he had not offended Miracle Dr. Wang completely the previous time. Otherwise, even his identity of being the son of the richest man in the southern province would mean nothing. He's really fearless. Saint Qi and Saint Wen exchanged glances and heaved a sigh of relief. However, this type of person often dies young. No matter how great his talents are, it will just be a matter of time until he is killed because of his arrogance. A short distance away, Qiao Fuzi snorted. He looked at Wang Xian and contempt flashed in his eyes. Those who are insanely gifted often die prematurely. Considering his personality, Miracle Dr. Wang from Rivertown won't live past a few years. He's too fearless. The underworld has its rules and a sacred sect is a sacred sect after all. Considering his style of actions, he won't survive for long, unless he can run to a faraway place, otherwise, the medical saint sect will definitely finish him off. Even if that means deploying all the strength of the medical saint sect, they won't let him off. He was blinded by anger. In my opinion, Miracle Dr. Wang is too foolish to offend a sacred sect completely. The consequences won't be that simple. Perhaps he felt he could be fearless and disregard all rules after living well subsequent to slaughtering the elders of the Sacred Followers Guild. Seeing Miracle Dr. Wang from Rivertown ordering his men to kill the 3 people from the medical saint sect, the surrounding crowd was stunned. At the same time, they felt that Miracle Dr. Wang from Rivertown was fearless. It was especially so for the disciples from strong backgrounds. When they witnessed the development, they snorted. The current Miracle Dr. Wang did look incredible when he ordered his guys to kill the disciples of a sacred sect in the public. However, they knew clearly the consequences he had to bear after the moment of glory. This is interesting. This is interesting. Flower Monk looked at Wang Xian and squinted his eyes. The battles of the Outstanding Young Heroes competition aren't contests of one's background. They are contests of strength. That's right. The titles of saint or saintess mean nothing here. The champion of the younger generation isn't something you can obtain by relying on your background. A bewitching young man stared at the crowd before turning his attention to Shiming from Imperial Beast Sect and revealing a cunning smirk. He was that demon-like young man in the carriage. Here. That's right. The Outstanding Young Heroes chart is all about one's personal strength. In a while, I'd like to seek guidance from everyone here. At this juncture, the crisp voice of a lady resonated. The crowd turned around and saw a young girl in the traditional attire of a minority group. She had over 10 metal rings around her neck and was flicking her hair flirtatiously. "Let's meet again in the arena," a young man commented plainly before turning around and heading in another direction. The atmosphere of a battle was starting to form. Outstanding young disciples from all over the world lifted their heads proudly while looking at their competitors. They were all confident in what they were capable of. Having reached the inborn realm at a young age, they were all favored by gods and fully confident in themselves. Even when facing other insanely gifted talents, they didn't feel that they would lose. They strongly believed they were the champions of the younger generation. Chapter 441, Sacred Sect, Dragon Sect, 1. Young Lord, the two middle-aged men behind Miracle Dr. Wang possess formidable strength. One of them should have advanced to half-step to Dan realm. Oh, really? That Miracle Dr. Wang is really one of a kind to have such forces at such an age. Back at the center of the competition field, the young lord swept his gaze across the three bodies on the floor and beamed. "He's not bad, but I'm afraid it's going to be over for him after he offended the medical saint sect. Unless he goes into hiding, he'll be doomed. Not everyone could possess invincible strength like our Lord." The two middle-aged men were evaluating everything plainly as they remained unwavering when Wang Xian's gang killed the three disciples of the sacred sect. "You're right. Not everyone possesses the strength of my father." Young Lord of Sea Serpent Island revealed a prideful look as his father was the goal in his life. Hai Jiao, a well-known figure in the underworld who was awe-inspiring. He possessed a reputation that was similar to that of a sacred sect. Not many people knew that his father had annihilated a saint-class force overseas. He was unrivaled and was one of the best in the entire Asian Sea region. Besides, he knew that his father had far more power than anyone could imagine. "Which force does the girl from Miaojiang, Flower Monk, and that fair-looking young man come from?" asked the young lord of Sea Serpent Island as he stepped off from the carriage and looked around the field. "If I'm not mistaken, the Flower Monk should be from Devil Spirit's Temple, and that young man is from Devil Corpse Palace," a middle-aged man speculated with a stern look. Devil Spirit's Temple and Devil Corpse Palace. The young lord was slightly stunned as he narrowed his pupils. "Two from the diabolism? Is the diabolism emerging?" "No idea, but if they do, the underworld will be in chaos again," the middle-aged man said with a sunken expression as he recalled. The so-called diabolism was not talking about practicing arts of cultivation that were of devil attributes. It was also not referring to those eccentric and unreasonable people who went around killing the innocents. The true demons controlled corpses, turned humans into puppets, sucked the blood essence of others. They inflicted harm on other people just to enhance their cultivation. This bunch of people and their practice was known by the underworld as diabolism, as what they practiced was evil. The diabolism was once being annihilated by saint-class forces led by Donghua Sacred Sect and the other powerful ancestral sects. Whereas Nai Wushuang, the sect leader of Donghua Sacred Sect, was known to be the #1 strongest expert in the underworld during this annihilation. Since then, diabolism went into seclusion, and they had not made an appearance for the past 50 years. Devil Spirit's Temple enhanced their cultivation by condensing bloodlust to extract blood essences from humans and other living beings. Subsequently, they will refine and feed on it. Devil Corpse Palace will refine themselves or other people into corpses. The cultivation arts of these two sects are extremely gruesome. Since they are here to participate in the Outstanding Young Heroes chart, I guess diabolism is going to be active again. The young lord displayed the trace of a smile on his face. "Looks like the opponents that are in my way to attaining the role of champion of the Outstanding Young Heroes chart will be these two fellows. Given your strength of pinnacle inborn, coupled with a few inborn spiritual weapons, so what if they are from diabolism? Still, they had to go into hiding to survive 50 years ago." The middle-aged man giggled as he flattered the young lord. "Haha, even so, we cannot underestimate them. Let's go." The young lord put on a confident look and strode towards the arena. The crew from the organizer was standing at the stage, all the surrounding disciples were moving towards the stage as well. Disciples of various ancestral sects divided themselves clearly on one side. There were 5 arenas in the field, which could hold 5 competitions at one time. Wang Xian, Xiao Yu, and the rest headed for the biggest arena at the center. The remaining disciples of sacred sects were also going for the same arena. It's going to start soon. Gosh, I just made a count secretly. There were more than a dozen supreme talents of inborn level. More than a dozen. That's 4 to 5 times more than in the past. There's no chance for us. But we didn't make a wasteful trip since we can watch those outstanding supreme talents fighting among themselves. Those experts below the inborn levels are going to be awkward. They can only be ranked after the 10th. The ones who came are getting more impressive. The young disciples sized up all the mighty supreme talents from the side as they exchanged views in whispers. When Wang Xian and gang came to the arena, Xiao Ran and his clan members were already standing below the stage. Xiao Ran gave him a hearty smile. Long time no see, Miracle Dr. Wang. Just then, a voice that was music to the ears was heard from the side. Wang Xian spun around and saw Tang Yinxian. With a smile, he said, "Miss Tang, how are?" As he greeted her, he could feel the muscles at his waist convulsing. He drew his lips and looked towards Guan Shuqing and Lan Qingyu beside him. "Ha, Miracle Dr. Wang is getting more and more suave." When Tang Yinxian spotted Guan Shuqing and Lan Qingyu by the side, there was an inexplicable look in her eyes. Her voice turned slightly cold. Cough. Wang Xian gave an awkward smile and kept his silence. Several elders beside Tang Yinxian were puzzled as they looked at her. Then, they whispered a few words to her. "The Outstanding Young Heroes chart ranks you by your strength. I'm sure everyone is clear about the rules. Anyone can come to the arena. The top 20 people are able to leave their names at the cliff for people to pay tribute to. It's life and death in the arena." At this time, the organizer began to speak from the arena. It was a brief introduction, and everyone knew about it. Without strength that is above half-step to inborn, they can forget about going to the arena. It's going to be interesting for this year's ranking. A faint voice was heard. Everyone looked over and saw a middle-aged man wearing an outfit with an island on it. All of them revealed a look of awe on their faces. Young Lord of Sea Serpent Island. He drew his lips and swept his gaze across all the young people. With a beam, he said, 20. The 20 of us shall take the seats. What? Whatever the young Lord of Sea Serpent Island said surprised everyone. 20. Are there 20 inborn supreme talents here? I don't think so. Miracle Dr. Wang and his sister. Young Lord of Sea Serpent Island, Xiao Ran from Xiao Clan, Qiao Fuzi from Qiao Clan, Tang Yinxian from Heavenly Sound Sect, Saint Qi, and Saint Wen from Dark Sect, Flower Monk and the mysterious young man in the sedan. Including the current 3 inborn experts on the chart, there are only 13. That girl with steel rings around her neck should be an inborn expert. That makes it 14. Another 6 more people. Gosh, half-step to inborn experts are unable to make it on the Outstanding Young Heroes chart this year. All of them looked around. In the past, even level 9 martial artists were eligible to participate. With the numbers of inborns around, they could not stand a chance. Chapter 442, Sacred Sect, Dragon Sect, 2. Weaklings can just stay off or be killed. While the surrounding crowd was looking around them curiously, the emotionless voice of a young man resonated. 20 supreme talents. It's only interesting this way, said another young man. My initial aim was to just have some fun here. However, after seeing so many supreme talents, let me have some real fun. The Outstanding Young Heroes chart in previous years has been inflated. This year is really interesting. For this year, I'll declare myself as the champion then. The voice of 2 other young men reverberated. Every single one of them was hugely confident in themselves as they spoke. They remained exceptionally confident in themselves despite facing the saints of sacred sects and clans, knowing the battle records of Miracle Dr. Wang from Rivertown, and having the young master of Sea Serpent Island around. This was a form of confidence that only the strong experts possessed. Gosh, there are 6 more inborn experts hidden within the crowd. Oh my god. The Outstanding Young Heroes chart only ranks the top 20. Those who haven't reached the inborn realm can forget about it. Don't embarrass yourself by participating. The contest would be interesting. Haha. Regardless, I'm not qualified. The surrounding crowd was shocked by the young men who spoke. Every single one of them was emanating strong confidence. At this juncture, all the supreme talents weren't hiding anymore and stood at the front. Some had their arms crossed while others held long swords in their hands. Some had their hands behind their back, lifting their heads slightly and displaying the demeanor of an expert. The surrounding crowd of thousands of people looked at the 20 people in awe and respect. As for those half-step to inborn experts who were still looking to showcase their abilities on the Outstanding Young Heroes competition, they were feeling extremely bitter. The competition this year was simply too insane. The last few inborn supreme talents that stood out were all disciples from powerful first-class forces. All the weapons in their hands look extraordinary. Those that could become inborn experts at this age are undoubtedly outstanding disciples who are the focus of nurturing in their sects. Their weapons and hidden trump cards are definitely terrifying. The surrounding crowd discussed fervently. Let's get it started. Xiao Ran looked across the dozen-odd inborn experts and showed a faint smile. Since I'm the youngest, let me choose my opponent first. Qiao Fuzi from Qiao Clan, step forward. As Xiao Ran spoke, he got moving and flew to the middle of the arena directly. His eyes were fixed on Qiao Fuzi. Dumbass. Today, I'll put you, who don't know what's best for you, on the ground. Qiao Fuzi's expression turned chilling. He leapt into the air and landed before Xiao Ran while staring harshly at him. I'll be taking your sword. Xiao Ran said plainly while staring at the long sword with savage beast engravings in Qiao Fuzi's hand. Haha. I'll slice you down with it. Qiao Fuzi broke into hysterical laughter. Dang. The sounds of a treasured sword leaving the scabbard shocked the surrounding martial artists who were carrying long swords. The name of this sword is Despondent Sword. I have defeated 3 inborn experts with it. You shall be the 4th. Qiao Fuzi pointed his despondent sword proudly at Xiao Ran. Xings. The name of my sword is Ancient Spiritual Sword. I have killed more than 3 inborn experts with it. Xiao Ran drew his ancient spiritual sword directly and met the cold gaze of Qiao Fuzi. SSS. Inborn spiritual weapons. 2 inborn spiritual weapons. Fuck. The people from the sacred clans are darned loaded. An inborn spiritual weapon could increase one's battle strength substantially. Since both of them have inborn spiritual weapons, the outcome of the contest will be dependent on their individual strength. Who do you think will win? Qiao Fuzi is 30 years old this year and his battle experiences are definitely richer than Xiao Ran. Although Xiao Ran is the youngest inborn expert in the underworld, his youth is also a weakness. His lacking in experience. A demon-like talent like him couldn't be assessed using common sense. Let's just watch. Place your bets. Place your bets. You can place your bets on the Underworld website. Pa. Just as the crowd was discussing fervently, Xiao Ran and Qiao Fuzi clashed. As the inborn spiritual weapons clashed, sounds of metal clashing reverberated through the skies. Everyone was astonished and watched the battle in the arena attentively. Haha. Damn brat. What gives you the guts to be so arrogant with your level of strength? After the first collision, Xiao Ran was knocked several steps back. Qiao Fuzi laughed loudly and brazenly as he stared at Xiao Ran with contempt. TSK. Xiao Ran snorted but remained unmoved. He executed his phantom sword technique, which was exceptionally frightening. Qiao Fuzi focused his attention, wiggled his arms and strengthened the golden glow on his despondent sword. Golden Ray Embodiment. As he shouted, he turned completely golden and was charging ahead with his sword. Around the despondent sword, golden long swords that were formed from metal attribute energy appeared suddenly. Over 10 golden long swords emitted dazzling rays. That's Qiao Clan's Golden Ray Embodiment. The Qiao Clan is known for their golden ray blades. They are extremely deadly and incomparably domineering. The surrounding crowd was shocked to see Qiao Fuzi emitting golden rays. Qiao Fuzi, together with his inborn spiritual weapon, could match those experienced inborn experts in battle. It will be hard for Xiao Ran to clinch the victory. What a shame. The crowd around the arena was analyzing the battle as it progressed. Several members of the Xiao clan revealed satisfying expressions and looked mockingly in the direction of the Xiao clan. However, a few elders from the Xiao clan were smirking. This was just the beginning. Golden ray embodiment. Looking at the blinding golden rays, Xiao Ran squinted his eyes and flexed his body. Boom! A chilling yet scorching blue flame was emitted from his body creepily. The flames covered the ancient spiritual sword and Xiao Ran, turning him into a man burning in blue flames. Have a taste of my tranquil blue heavenly flame. Xiao Ran swung his long sword and creepy blue flowers emerged around him. This move is called tranquil blue flowers. Xiao Ran charged ahead without fear. Heavenly flame. Oh gosh. It's a heavenly flame. SSS. He got a heavenly flame. In the entire underworld, there are probably only 2 to 3 people who possess a heavenly flame. Moreover, every single one of them is exceptionally powerful. Several members of the Qiao clan were taken aback as their expressions turned gloomier. What? Qiao Fuzi was also shocked to see Xiao Ran shrouded in blue flames. Wang. At this instant, the swaying tranquil blue flowers clashed heavily with the golden ray blades and resulted in frightening explosions. As the blue flame contacted the golden blades dissipated one after another. Bam! The ancient spiritual sword slashed downward and blue sparks sputtered. Qiao Fuzi was flabbergasted as he saw the flames land on him. This is bad. His golden body was easily penetrated by the tranquil blue heavenly flame and the terrifying temperature sent chills down his spine. Rumble. Qiao Fuzi gathered the golden rays towards his chest as he retreated rapidly. The golden rays withstood the attack for a moment before falling onto the floor of the arena. Pa. 2 1-meter-deep holes appeared instantly. What an incredible heavenly flame. The arena was forged using the toughest stone from Huashan. Yet, the heavenly flame was able to burn out such terrifying holes. The crowd's eyes contracted unconsciously as they witnessed the deep holes on the ground of the arena. Even the inborn experts frowned upon witnessing the strength of the heavenly flame. Qiao Fuzi's face was covered in cold sweat as he stared at the potholes caused by that blue heavenly flame. He was exceptionally impressed and frightened. Aren't you going to admit your defeat? If the tranquil blue heavenly flame landed on your body, you wouldn't be able to withstand it. Chapter 443, Sacred Sect, Dragon Sect, 3. Aren't you going to admit your defeat? If the tranquil blue heavenly flame landed on your body, you wouldn't be able to withstand it. Xiao Ran drew his lips with a cold smile as he stared at Qiao Fuzi. Qiao Fuzi had a huge change in his expression. His body trembled while the palm that was gripping the despondent sword grew pale. An elder below said with a gloomy face, "We lost." Fuzi. Fine. Qiao Fuzi gritted his teeth as he inserted his sword back into the scabbard with an awful look. He threw a death stare before he hurled the sword to Xiao Ran. Thank you. Xiao Ran took over the despondent sword with thrills. Inborn spiritual weapons were precious treasures, even in the sacred clans. The inborn spiritual weapon coupled with the heavenly flame has pushed the strength of Xiao Ran close to a pinnacle inborn. That's the suppression of equipment. Just like a cannon matched against a gun, weapons are just part of the strength, so is luck. We've got to admit that. Some of the surrounding crowd remarked with envy. The world is unfair. Some people are born to be at the peak, but some people will never reach the summit. Looks like there are many experts today. Just when a soft voice cut the air, an ominous and pale-looking young man stalked to the front with a smiling face. The grin was somewhat creepy and cold, which struck an uneasiness into everyone. He was holding onto a grey umbrella with pictures painted on it. Those were extremely spooky corpses and coffins. Who is that mysterious young man going to challenge? He was sitting in an ancient sedan carried by 4 half-step to inborn experts. He is a mystery. I wonder which force he came from. He gives off a creepy feeling. I wonder how strong he is. All eyes were on that mysterious young man. He opened his umbrella and gently leaped into the arena. The fair and ominous face was looking in the direction of Shiming from Imperial Beast Sect. Get over here and receive your death. Ha! His challenging Shiming from Imperial Beast Sect. How courageous is he? He actually asked Shiming out to receive his death. His challenging the disciple from Imperial Beast Sect. A human and a beast from Imperial Beast Sect are equivalent to two inborn experts. With the combination of the two, their combat power is recognized as the strongest existence among the same level. What kind of strength does this mysterious young man possess such that he dares to challenge Shiming? The people below the arena froze as they looked at the ominous-looking young man who was holding the umbrella with bewilderment. All of them were looking surprised. Roar. The one who replied to that ominous-looking young man was not Shiming, but the roar from the king of the forest. Ha ha, Imperial Gale, are you hungry? Let's go, I'll find you a piece of meat. Shiming stroked the roaring lion and laughed loudly as he sat on him. Roar. Shiming let out a low bellow and made a leap into the arena that was 20 meters away. Boom. With the release of immense oppression, Roaring Lion stared at the ominous-looking young man with bloodthirsty eyes while revealing his ghastly teeth. Ha ha, I thought it was a lady in the sedan. I didn't expect it to be a man. What a disappointment. The coarse voice of Shiming was heard as he sat on the roaring lion, looking down at that ominous-looking young man. Heh heh. That ominous-looking young man giggled, revealing his sparkling white teeth. Without a word, he made a swift movement in an attempt to attack Shiming. Upon seeing his offense, Shiming swung his arm and assembled a few rods that were found on the roaring lion, forming a 2-meter-long halberd. Phew. He swept the halberd forward. Woohoo. At this time, dark and cold radiance flickered in the ominous-looking young man's eyes. He pointed the tip of the grey umbrella ahead while looking at the roaring lion below. Roar. The roaring lion lifted his chin as a frightening windstorm made its way to encompass that ominous-looking young man. The most powerful thing about Imperial Beast Sect was they could launch an assault together with their inborn spiritual beasts. The strength exploded by the combination of a human and a beast way surpassed two inborn experts. Bam! Despite the grey umbrella tip having blocked the sword, the ominous-looking young man remained unmoved with the windstorm generated by the roaring lion. He pulled the grey umbrella upwards, releasing a greyish mist that slayed the head of the roaring lion. Poof! A shriek was heard as the ominous-looking young man twisted his umbrella, floating more than 10 meters away. Boom! A loud thud was heard as the lion head rolled down the floor. What? This. All the surrounding people were aghast when they saw the lion head rolling out of the arena. Everyone found it hard to believe. Single strike. A single strike was all it took to slay the inborn spiritual beast of Shiming from Imperial Beast Sect. How is this possible? Imperial Gale. All the people watched the scene before them with disbelief while Shiming let out a sorrowful cry. He was so startled to see his roaring lion beneath him beheaded. His body shook slightly. He had actually chopped off his head in a single strike. How dare you kill my Imperial Gale? Shiming was infuriated as he clutched his halberd with bloodshot eyes. With a malevolent expression, he turned to look at that ominous-looking young man. Next is you. The ominous-looking young man revealed a smirk as he twisted the grey umbrella in his hand for a direct kill at Shiming. We lost. Just then, the golden bird on a young man's shoulder was rotating his watery eyes with a mouth that spoke in a human voice. Subsequently, that golden spiritual bird moved like a bolt of lightning above Shiming, grabbed his clothes, and flew down from the arena. That young man from Imperial Beast Sect immediately lowered down his head and greeted, Elder Feng Ling. The golden spiritual bird did not pay attention to that young man. Instead, he stared at that ominous-looking young man with golden eyes gleamed with wisdom. You won. Ha! The ominous-looking young man looked at that golden spiritual bird with wariness in his eyes. He swung his arm, and he floated down the arena with his grey umbrella. An empty space was immediately opened up around him as everyone stared at him with an appalled look. Invincible. He's simply too powerful with that daunting umbrella. That umbrella is at least an inborn spiritual weapon. But what's that grey mist about? With such a strength, he should be crowned as the champion. What's that golden spiritual bird? It speaks human language, and it possesses such domineering wisdom. That golden spiritual bird was fast. That disciple of Imperial Beast sect even addressed it as elder. Everything, including the mighty ominous-looking young man and the mystical golden spiritual bird, was incredible. The outstanding young heroes competition this time had widened their horizons. That greyish mist must be some bloodline that is similar to Kuan, which is also a decadent creature. He must be a pinnacle inborn. That golden spiritual bird has a very high IQ. The Imperial Beast sect has lived up to their name. The golden spiritual bird should be at least a half step to Dan Realm expert. Wang Xian watched in astonishment. He looked around those flabbergasted martial artists with an arching of his lips. You guys can carry on showing off. After you're done, it's my turn. Chapter 444, Sacred Sect, Dragon Sect, 4. The outstanding young heroes chart this year is sick. They aren't just sick. All of them are demons. I thought Miracle Dr. Wang from Rivertown was incomparably strong. However, that mysterious young man turned out to be even more frightening. SSS. The corpse of the roaring lion was taken by that ominous-looking young man. That's the biggest insult to the Imperial Beast sect. Looking at the circumstances, if it wasn't for that mystical golden spiritual bird that flew over, Shiming would likely have been killed. Below the arena, the crowd was still discussing. Shiming was shivering as he witnessed the corpse of his companion being lifted away. His eyes were bloodshot. However, the loser had to pay a price in this arena. He couldn't say anything against the ominous-looking young man for taking away the corpse of the roaring lion. These were the rules and no one could break them. Otherwise, he would be looked down upon by everyone. The remaining supreme talents were also looking at that ominous-looking young man with fear and shock. It's no surprise considering that he's from the Devil Corpse Palace. With his creepy attacking methods, powerful physical body and inborn level strength, there would be few who could be a match for him here. The young lord of Sea Serpent Island squinted his eyes and commented. However, I'll definitely be able to defeat him within 100 moves. It's our turn. Which two brothers would like to spar with us? At this juncture, Saint Chi and Saint Wen from the Dark Sect jumped into the air before landing in two different arenas. Both of them smiled radiantly as they issued an open challenge to the supreme talents below the stage. Let me give it a try. Let me give it a try. Soon, two young men jumped up. Their eyes were fixed on Saint Chi and Saint Wen as they clasped their left fists in their right palms and said, "Please enlighten me. Let's start with something cool. Level 9 Shadow Blades." Saint Chi and Saint Wen from the Dark Sect each drew a dagger as they spoke to their opponents. Great. It's only interesting this way. The other two supreme talents also drew their weapons which had identical value. Please enlighten me. The contest started once again. However, it wasn't as brutal as before and resembled ordinary sparring. The contest ended with the Dark Sect losing in one and winning in the other. Following next, one after another outstanding young inborn expert went up to the arena. If they did not have a prior feud, they typically wouldn't risk their lives in battles. Below the stage, all the proud and talented young men were watching each battle attentively. From the battles, they were able to analyze and tell who was stronger or weaker than them. At the same time, it gave them a rough idea of the eventual ranking on the outstanding young heroes chart. As for the remaining crowd, they were shocked by the intense and competitive battles. Wang Xian was smirking confidently while watching the battles develop. Up to this point, that ominous-looking young man was the strongest. It would be a little troublesome for the Dragonians to defeat him. However, he relied on his bloodline just like the Dragonians. The Dragonians still have over a 70% chance of winning. As for the rest, they are relatively weaker. Wang Xian squinted his eyes and his attention fell on the young lord of Sea Serpent Island and the Flower Monk. Both of them were slightly stronger. Soon after, the Flower Monk fought with another young man. In less than 10 moves, he defeated the young man easily. No one was able to tell his actual strength yet. The Flower Monk had shocked the crowd with his strength. To this point, the surrounding crowd had a rough understanding. Based on those who had fought, the young lord of Sea Serpent Island was undoubtedly relatively stronger. After him, it would be the Flower Monk and that ominous-looking young man. Also, There was still Miracle Dr. Wang from Rivertown who had not participated. In their views, Miracle Dr. Wang from Rivertown should at least be as strong as the three of them. As for Xiao Yu, not many held high hopes for her. When fighting with Hua Mingshan, her moves were too simple. As such, no one really found her to be strong. Suddenly, all the disciples of sacred clans, sacred sects and powerful forces received a message from their clans and sects. When they saw the message, they were taken aback and shocked. The battles of the Outstanding Young Heroes competition were streamed on the website of the Underworld. Those who weren't at the competition ground had their attention fixed on the Underworld website. The total bets that had been placed for the current Outstanding Young Heroes competition had also reached an astronomical figure of over $50 billion. The entire Underworld was talking about the happenings of the Outstanding Young Heroes competition. On the forum, there was various analysis on who would become the champion for the year. However, another thread had attracted more views than the thread on the competition. The thread was about Miracle Dr. Wang from Rivertown killing 3 men from the Medical Saint sect. Moreover, this incident had happened before the Outstanding Young Heroes competition. At that point, someone had posted about the incident on the Underworld website and shocked the entire Underworld. When they saw the photos of the bodies, they were terrified. In the thread, there was a detailed explanation of the flow of events. What? Miracle Dr. Wang from Rivertown killed the disciple of the Bian branch of Medical Saint sect? And he just killed Hua Mingshan and his close confidants from the Hua branch of Medical Saint sect? Miracle Dr. Wang from Rivertown must be really eager to die. Just some time ago, he killed the elders from the Sacred Followers Guild. Now, he's killed so many people from the Medical Saint sect. The disciple of the Bian branch and Hua Mingshan were both rumored to be the most outstanding disciples of the current generation in Medical Saint sect. Who would have thought that they would be killed? This Miracle Dr. Wang's actions are clearly an open provocation to the Medical Saint sect. They wouldn't rest till one party perishes. Definitely, the Medical Saint sect would want to kill Miracle Dr. Wang from Rivertown even if it meant deploying all the influence and strength of the entire sect. Who would have expected Miracle Dr. Wang from Rivertown to be so brazen? Not only did he admit to killing the disciple from the Bian branch, he even killed the disciple from the Hua branch on the spot. What an insane person. All the martial artists around were initially interested in the battles of the Outstanding Young Heroes competition. However, they started discussing the message after seeing it. In the short frame of 10 minutes, the number of replies had reached 100,000. The current incident was even more shocking than Miracle Dr. Wang from Rivertown killing the elders from the Sacred Followers Guild. Killing the most outstanding disciples of the Medical Saint sect had breached the bottom line of the Medical Saint sect. At this juncture, it was just like what everyone in the underworld had expected. When the Medical Saint sect received the news, the entire Medical Saint sect was shocked. Kill him. Annihilate him and all his family, friends, and kin. Leave not a single person behind. Within a quiet mountain valley, an angry roar resounded. In a majestic structure, 2 middle-aged men sat on 2 chairs in the middle of the structure. Below them, there was another old man. Everyone here was gloomy and filled with killing intent. How dare he kill the disciple of the Medical Saint sect? It would seem we have stayed low for too long. I want to shred him into thousands and thousands of pieces right now. Besides the screaming middle-aged man, another middle-aged man closed his eyes slightly while leaning back in his chair. Brimming with killing intent, he remarked coldly, "We wouldn't let him live for even a second more." The middle-aged man by the side nodded his head. He clenched his fist tightly and instructed, "Take out 2 level 6 elixir pills and pay all the price required. Send out our disciples and shred him to pieces. After that, we will go for anyone who is connected to him." Chapter 445, Sacred Sect, Dragon Sect, 5. Bian Yaroquan from Bian family was the son of one of the 2 sect masters of Medical Saint sect. Hua Mingshan from Hua family was the son of the other sect master of Medical Saint sect. The death of 2 sons of the sect masters who were the most outstanding disciples in Medical Saint sect outraged the Medical Saint sect. Kill him now. We cannot tolerate it any longer. The message was passed to some of the sacred sects, sacred clans, and ancestral sects. When they received the message, they were shocked by the benefits promised by Medical Saint sect in the killing order. Whoever kills Miracle Dr. Wang of Rivertown and his gang, they will get 2 level 6 elixir pills as payment. Apart from this, they will also refine elixir pills free 10 times. All participants will receive a handsome reward. 2 level 6 elixir pills. Those were 2 level 6 elixir pills, which were extremely effective in advancing toward half-step to Dan realm. Besides, they could refine their elixir pills 10 times for free. This reward also brightened up the eyes of all forces. No one in the entire underworld could compare with Medical Saint sect in their art of refining elixir. Those ancestral sects had to pay a huge price to get Medical Saint sect to help in refining elixir pills. Now, they offered to refine 10 times for free. If someone managed to come up with spiritual grass to refine level 6 elixir pills, they would also do it for free. Regardless of getting level 6 elixir pills or refining elixir pills for free, it was a great temptation to any forces. All the ancestral sects hesitated before they sent the message to those disciples at Huashan. It would be best if they could complete the mission. All the disciples from various ancestral sects below the arena had received the message. All of them revealed a tinge of shock with radiance flickering in their eyes. Second uncle, shall we? Xiao Fuzi looked toward several elders beside him and asked with gleaming eyes. Those people around Miracle Dr. Wang are quite strong. Besides, a lot of people are aware of this news. It's a surprise that Medical Saint sect is so desperate to pay such a price for him to be killed. He's only courting his own doom since he dared to kill people from sacred sect. Xiao Fuzi remarked with a cold look. Find a chance to strike. Hey, brother. Here's the message from the ancestral sect. Should we do it? Between Saint Qi and Saint Wen, a young man asked his elder brother at the side. What do you think? They want us to strike when there's an opportunity. Let's see how many people do it. If there's a chance, I think we can give it a shot. If we aren't 100% sure, don't do it. I've always felt that he's not a simple person. Yinxian, here's the message from the ancestral sect. 2 level 6 elixir pills and refining elixir pills 10 times for free. I think we can do it too. Back at the Heavenly Sound sect, an elder suggested to Tang Yinxian with fervent eyes. No, we can't. When Tang Yinxian saw the message sent by their sect leader, she shook her head firmly. Ha! The sect leader hoped that we could kill him off because the reward from Medical Saint sect is simply too attractive. Didn't you say both of you were just acquaintances? The elder from Heavenly Sound sect asked with a frown. Elder Yang, I have decided not to take part in this. He's very mighty, and it's far beyond your imagination. Tang Yinxian spoke firmly with a stern look. How mighty can he be? We have 4 inborn experts here. I bet the rest of the people received the same message. By then, we are not the only ones who strike. Participations will also be rewarded handsomely. Elder Yang raised his eyebrow and rebuked. Elder Yang, I know him. His strength. Tang Yinxian hesitated. Not even our supreme elder of Heavenly Sound sect can take him down. What? Elder Yang froze as he looked at Tang Yinxian with astonishment. Yinxian, are you kidding? Elder Yang, why would I lie to you? I have seen his prowess. Tang Yinxian answered Elder Yang with a serious look. Upon seeing her serious look, Elder Yang turned solemn with glistening eyes. He murmured, is there such a demon-like existence? In fact, you guys have seen his domineering prowess before. But Tang Yinxian did not say that out loud as she glanced around with a cold smile. She noticed all the disciples and supreme talents of ancestral sects fixing their gleaming gazes on Wang Xian. A tinge of contempt surfaced on her face. They probably had no idea what kind of domineering existence they were facing. Greed marks the original sin and death. Another 5 to 6 first-class forces received the message from Medical Saint sect. Among which, 5 supreme talents' eyes were gleaming with greed and excitement. None of them knew that the atmosphere in the Outstanding Young Heroes competition had undergone subtle changes. Young Lord, there's a message from our Lord, asking us to complete a mission. 2 middle-aged men reported to the young Lord of Sea Serpent Island. Oh, let me see. Ha! Level 6 elixir pills and free refining elixir pills 10 times. A tinge of queerness blinked in the eyes of young Lord of Sea Serpent Island. Medical Saint Sect lives up to their name. What a cruel man. Thanks to Miracle Dr. Wang. Otherwise, will not have this opportunity, a middle-aged man said with a smile. Yes, I have to thank him. Just perfect, I'll kill him in the arena and win the championship title. Killing 2 birds with 1 stone, young Lord of Sea Serpent Island revealed a smile. The duels are almost coming to an end. Young Lord of Sea Serpent Island observed around with his lips drawn. Miracle Dr. Wang of Rivertown, you're the current number 1 supreme talent on the chart. Get on now so that I can slay you today. Ha ha ha. He burst into laughter and jumped into the arena. With his chin lifted, he glared at Wang Xian, beaming. Ha! Young Lord of Sea Serpent Island is challenging Wang Xian. The most exciting duel is here. Young Lord of Sea Serpent Island used to be the number 1 on the chart. Now Miracle Dr. Wang of Rivertown suddenly emerged and took over him. We'll find out who is more powerful soon. After their duel, we should be able to tell who is the champion for this year. The surrounding crowd was thrilled when they saw young Lord of Sea Serpent Island issue a challenge to Wang Xian. All of them were looking at the two with great anticipation. Slay me. Upon hearing young Lord of Sea Serpent Island, Wang Xian was slightly suspicious. Young master, here's a message from Xiao Ran. Suddenly, Mo Qinglong passed a phone from behind. Wang Xian took over the phone and squinted his eyes as soon as he read the message. No wonder he wants to slay me, haha. Upon reading the content, Wang Xian chuckled. The medical saint sect are quick in taking action. I wonder how many of them in the field want to kill me. But since you guys are up for a game, I will definitely play on. Wang Xian laughed as he swept his gaze across everyone. Eventually, he stopped at young Lord of Sea Serpent Island, who was staring at him in the arena. I'm sorry. I'm not participating in the ranking of the Outstanding Young Heroes chart. Chapter 446, Sacred Sect, Dragon Sect, 6. I'm sorry. I'm not participating in the ranking of the Outstanding Young Heroes chart. When the crowd heard Wang Xian, they were taken aback. What's happening? Miracle Dr. Wang from Rivertown is not participating in the Outstanding Young Heroes chart? This. What a turn of events. With his strength, why isn't he participating? It is almost certain that Miracle Dr. Wang would rank in the top 3 or 4. With such results, he could get at least 700 to 800 spiritual stones at the end of the competition after considering how popular the Outstanding Young Heroes competition is this year. At this moment, the total bets placed for the competition in the underworld have reached several hundreds of billions. The top 5 would each receive at least 8 billion. Changing money to spiritual stones would also reap him immense resources. Why isn't he participating? Could it be that he's afraid after seeing so many experts? This isn't his style at all. To the astonishment of the crowd, Wang Xian had declared he wouldn't participate. As a result, the crowd was curious and discussing. The young Lord of Sea Serpent Island was also surprised by Wang Xian's decision. He stared coldly at Wang Xian and asked, "What's the matter? Are you afraid? This isn't your style at all." Wang Xian smiled plainly and replied, Do I need a reason to not participate? Naturally, you can think whatever you wish. Haha. Great. Regardless, the opportunity for us to fight will be here soon. Rest assured, it won't be long, the young Lord of Sea Serpent Island said with hidden meaning behind his words. Subsequently, he looked to the rest of the crowd. Ka. Suddenly, a layer of frost formed over the surface of the arena. The surrounding temperature was also decreasing rapidly. A stream of chilling aura emanated from the young Lord of Sea Serpent Island. As he moved his hand, a short blade appeared in it. The short blade was white as snow and was emitting layers and layers of white fog. This wasn't hot air but chilling air. At his chest, a frosty round disc appeared gradually. It started turning and his body started turning white. I'm the champion of all promising young talents. Who isn't convinced? Chilling cold aura swept towards the surroundings. Some of the young men instantly paled. You or that monk are both qualified to fight with me. The lips of the young lord of Sea Serpent Island curved into a smirk as he emitted chilling aura. Amitabha. You are really the son of the lord of Sea Serpent Island. With such an incredible father, the son couldn't be any weaker. The flower monk stared at the young lord of Sea Serpent Island, the short blade in his hand, and the round disc at his chest. In his eyes, a tinge of fear flashed. Hee. The ominous-looking young man stared at the young lord of Sea Serpent Island. In the end, he shook his head and said, "If you took down the frosty round disc on your chest, you wouldn't be a match for me. Ha ha. Just shut your mouth if you don't dare to step forward." The young Sea Serpent Island master stared calmly at the ominous-looking young man and continued, "Be careful or you won't walk out of here alive if you are spouting too much nonsense." The ominous-looking young man frowned and snorted, "You can be first this time. I'll be second." Ling Sho. Are you convinced? Amitabha. Since young palace master Fu likes to be second, the poor monk here shall be third then. Flower monk smiled gently and answered plainly while moving the string of Buddha beads with his finger. I shall be fourth then. Anyone not convinced? After the top 3 of the outstanding young heroes chart had been decided, one of the saints from the dark sect looked nonchalantly at the crowd. In one of his hands, he was playing with a dagger. I shall be fifth. Anyone not convinced? Xiao Ran took a step forward and looked at the crowd. The aura from the young lord of Sea Serpent Island is too terrifying. Even the flower monk and the ominous-looking young man admitted that they wouldn't be a match for him. He's definitely deserving of the title of the champion of the supreme talent. It is clear that the ominous-looking young man knows flower monk. There's no problem at all with them ranking second and third. The leader of the duo from the dark sect has insane mastery of the flying dagger. Ranking fourth is also not a problem. Although Xiao Ran from Xiao clan is young, he possesses a heavenly flame and inborn spiritual weapon. Moreover, no one would probably have doubts about him ranking fifth after seeing his battling strength. The crowd started commenting after seeing the supreme talents stepping forward and claiming their spots on the chart. I shall be sixth. Anyone not convinced? The number 2 on the outstanding young heroes chart from some time ago stepped forward with a long face and announced this to the crowd. I'll be 7th. Anyone not convinced? I'll be 8th. Anyone not convinced? I'll be 9th. Anyone not convinced? Emotionless calls reverberated across the field and the inborn level supreme talents jumped into the arena after claiming their spots. This happened until the 18th spot. 18 inborn realm supreme talents stood in the arena, emitting terrifying aura. Anyone not convinced? The young lord of Sea Serpent Island looked at the inborn supreme talents around him. He lifted his head proudly and asked loudly again, I shall be the champion of the supreme talents. Anyone not convinced? The disposition of a champion emanated from his body. The remaining inborn supreme talents pulled a long face and lifted their heads slightly. Regardless, being ranked on the outstanding young heroes chart this year was also a testament to their strength. Great. Since no one has anything to say, the young lord of Sea Serpent Island squinted his eyes and looked in the direction of Wang Xian. His eyes were beaming with killing intent. In the arena, 5 other inborn level supreme talents looked towards Wang Xian. Now that the outstanding young heroes competition had ended, they knew that it was time for them to make a move. Below the stage, some sects and families were also eager to strike. They could also tell that the young lord of Sea Serpent Island had accepted the mission from the medical saint sect. However, this didn't mean that the rewards would belong to them. Whoever could kill Miracle Dr. Wang from Rivertown would receive the greatest remuneration. The ranking of the outstanding young heroes chart is over. Get ready. TSK. This Miracle Dr. Wang from Rivertown is really arrogant to kill the people from the medical saint sect on the spot. Now that medical saint sect is willing to offer such an insane remuneration, many experts from various sects will be eager to strike. Even saint-class forces won't be an exception. Below the stage, the families and sects who had received the message were exhilarated. The best show after the outstanding young heroes chart ranking was finally about to begin. At this very moment, many people were looking at the ranking through the Underworld website. Fuck. Why didn't Miracle Dr. Wang from Rivertown participate? I bet 5 million on him. The young lord of Sea Serpent Island has declared himself as the champion. The short sword and the round disc on him should both be insanely powerful inborn spiritual weapons. The only disappointment is Miracle Dr. Wang from Rivertown not participating. Is Miracle Dr. Wang from Rivertown afraid of embarrassing himself after seeing multiple powerful characters on the Outstanding Young Heroes chart this year? He's probably pondering how he could handle his own matters at this point in time. He's a dead man after killing the most outstanding disciple of Medical Saint sect in this generation. Fuck. Miracle Dr. Wang from Rivertown dared to kill the people from Medical Saint sect. Why wouldn't he participate? The 10 million I placed on him was forfeited directly. The Outstanding Young Heroes competition has finally ended. Although there wasn't a fight at the end, the competition this year was truly satisfying. The supreme talents must have a rough idea of their strength and therefore didn't express opinions against those who were stronger than them. Because of this, they didn't fight at the end. The only disappointment has to be Miracle Dr. Wang from Rivertown. In the end, he chose to be a coward. The underworld was discussing fervently on the web. As to the fact that Wang Xian didn't participate, many people were shocked and infuriated. It was especially so for those who had placed bets on Wang Xian earlier. They even hurled vulgarities at him. If you want to be a coward at the very end, what the hell are you in Huashan for? You might as well just cower in the corner at home. You still dare to kill the people from Medical Saint sect without knowing what's best for you? Some people were cursing. However, there were others from some families and sects that were watching the live stream. They were waiting for the end of the competition and the death of Miracle Dr. Wang. Today, I want to see his corpse. The members of the Medical Saint sect stared emotionlessly at the live stream. We are not convinced. Suddenly, just as the crowd was about to make their move, a unison cold snort reverberated across the space. Chapter 447, Sacred Sect, Dragon Sect, 7. We are not convinced. While all 18 supreme talents were overlooking the crowd from the quiet arena, a sneer came and took everyone by surprise. Who? Who is not convinced? Everyone was stunned as they spun around. All the 18 people on the stage froze as they turned to the source of the voice. 5 young men were staring at the group of people on the stage with cold eyes. Ha! Who are they? Who are these 5 people? All of the people were puzzled as they gave way to form a path for them. We're not convinced either. Yet another voice came at this time. More people. Why are they here? Gosh, those people on stage are the supreme talents of inborn levels. Who else is not convinced? Once again, the crowd was stunned as they looked in the other direction. 7 young men. They stared at the supreme talents on the stage with a domineering fighting spirit. 12 of them. A supreme talent on stage squinted his eyes as he watched the 12 people stalking towards the stage. Radiance flicked in his eyes. Hey, us too. Boom. Damn, there are more. If I guessed correctly, those 5 people are outstanding 5 devil dragons. The other 7 are Dragon 7 stars. They just made their names known to the underworld a few days ago. Little did I expect they would turn up. Who are the other 4 who spoke? 16. Suddenly, 16 people sprouted up. If they're not convinced, could they be experts from the inborn realm? Fuck, I thought the ranking was almost over. Who knew there are another 16 inborn experts? Scary. Where did these people come from? There is no information about them. Which clan did they come from? Which sects? All of them watched the group of young men below the arena with stunned looks. Ha! When the group of supreme talents on the stage looked at 16 young men who exploded immense fighting spirit, their expressions were stern. Ha ha ha, I'm not convinced. Hai Long, you? You are not fit to be the champion yet. Let me challenge you. Xiao Yu cast a glance at the group of Dragonians. She was eager to get on the stage when she fixed her eyes on the young lord of Sea Serpent Island. With her bone sword, she leaped onto the arena. Ha! Challenging the young lord of Sea Serpent Island? Miracle Dr. Wang's sister is simply digging her own grave. She's challenging the young lord? That sister of Miracle Dr. Wang is too insolent. The crowd was stunned when they saw Xiao Yu jumping into the arena just to challenge the young lord of Sea Serpent Island. All of them looked at Xiao Yu as though she was some idiot. That young lady was an inborn expert indeed. But she was still a far cry from the young lord. Haha, challenge me? The young lord was frowning when he saw the sudden appearance of 16 young men up for the challenge. He darkened his expression instantly when he saw Xiao Yu charging at him. How dare a lass like you challenge my superiority? The young lord fixed his cold stare on Xiao Yu. The inborn spiritual weapon, Frozen Sorrows, was held in his hand and was pointing at Xiao Yu. Are you tired of living? Heh. With her bone sword in her hand and a black armor-like outfit, she said, You are not fit to be the champion of the supreme talents. Well, fine. The young lord revealed a ghastly look. Since you dared to challenge me, prepare for your death. Xiao Yu raised her eyebrows as she drew her bone sword to the side. With a quick move, she went for her attack. Take this. Go on. Challenge him. The winner will be the champion of the rankings. The people on the stage can get down. With Xiao Yu launching her attack, there was no hesitation from the Dragonians below the stage. With a swift movement, all of them charged to the supreme talents on the stage. Courting your own doom, a murderous intent flashed in his eyes when the ominous-looking young man spotted someone assaulting him. On the side, Flower Monk held his bloody Buddha beads on his neck and exhibited coldness in his eyes. Boom. Combat exploded instantly in the arena. Everyone was dumbfounded by the scene as they parted their lips. Miracle Dr. Wang's sister is actually attacking the young lord. This is madness. Those 16 people who sprouted out of nowhere are insane. They actually challenge those supreme talents on the stage. Someone is fighting with the ominous-looking young man and Flower Monk. Where did they come from? They are not wearing uniforms, so they should not be from the same force. I've heard of the outstanding 5 Devil Dragons and Dragon 7 Stars. But who are the other 4 young ones? Where did they come from? Crazy. The outstanding young heroes chart ranking this year is simply too insane. All the people surrounding the arena receded immediately. The entire situation was insane with the sudden appearance of a dozen inborn experts challenging all the supreme talents. This was combat that involved more than 30 inborn experts. All the remaining people could only retreat. At the same time, all the people who were watching the match through the Underworld website were dumbfounded too. The entire situation was too overwhelming. Those who were not here at the scene would regret it for life. Many martial artists almost fell to their knees as they watched the broadcast. There are just too many young experts. Seeing all the Dragonians leaping onto the stage, Xiao Ran was the only one without a rival. Hence, he jumped down with a smile. Bam! What? With the sound of the clattering weapons, the sword in Xiao Yu's hand and the frozen sorrows of young Lord of Sea Serpent Island finally clashed together. Young Lord of Sea Serpent Island had a huge change in his expression as he sensed the immense energy coming from it. The Frozen Sorrows was a special inborn spiritual weapon given to him by his father. It was incredibly strong, but it was only on par with the opponent's Blackbone sword. Mate, how dare you call yourself the champion of the supreme talents? You're not fit. The Blackbone-like armor on Xiao Yu exuded faint bouts of black aura. As a skeletal dragon, all her battles were close range. Her strength, the penetration, and the defense of the bones had reached a horrifying stage. As a half-step to Dan Realm, Xiao Yu could easily defeat the young Lord of Sea Serpent Island despite the fact that he had a powerful weapon. But Xiao Yu's entire body was a daunting weapon itself. Lass, go to hell. Young Lord of Sea Serpent Island had a change in his expression when he heard what she said. With a frosty pair of eyes, he looked at her while the ice-core round disc began to spin at his chest. The ground around him began to freeze. The surrounding temperature dropped to -100 degrees. Ha! All the Dragonians and Supreme Talents who were engaged in the duels had a change in their expressions as they hurriedly drew themselves away. The duels quickly kicked off. Bam! Back to the ominous-looking young man, his greyish umbrella tip was pointing at one Dragonian with a disdainful look in his eyes. Me. That Dragonian snorted as he stretched out his palm. The human palm was immediately filled with dragon scales. He caught the tip of the umbrella and revealed a cold smile. "You're not my match. Concede your defeat. Courting your own doom." The ominous-looking young man turned cold with a ferocious expression surfacing on his face. A bout of grayish mist surged from his grey umbrella. Chapter 448, Sacred Sect, Dragon Sect, 8. The grayish mist from the tip of the umbrella had decadent vibes. They had originated from the decadent powers. An attack that was from one's bloodline. The grayish decadent energy could substantially negate the opponent's defense. When the Dragonian noticed the energy, contempt beamed in his eyes. A stream of black aura was emitted from his hand and the dense black mist withstood the grayish decadent energy. Bloodline? Hee. Dragonians had the strongest bloodline in the universe. The corpse-like bloodline wouldn't be a match at all. What? The ominous-looking young man was astonished. Even when facing the young lord of Sea Serpent Island, he was calm and composed. However, he was truly shocked by the young man who emitted black energy. Fear flashed in his eyes. Burst. Burst. At this juncture, an angry roar resounded. The flower monk's expression was filled with bloodlust. At the top of his head where there was a scar, a hideous image of an evil ghost could be vaguely seen. His pale white face was covered in blood and he looked exceptionally terrifying. A Buddha bead flew towards the Dragonian before him and exploded violently. Creepy fresh blood was released from the exploded Buddha beads and flew towards the Dragonian like maggots which clung to corpses. Ominous spirits infiltration? The Dragonian wasn't alarmed at all as he charged forward. The bloodthirsty aura penetrated into the body of the Dragonian. However, the noble bloodline of the divine dragon was instantly triggered. Wang. The bloodthirsty aura was erased instantly. Shit. The flower monk, whose face was immersed in bloodthirsty aura, was astonished. I admit defeat. I admit defeat. I admit defeat. I admit defeat. At this moment, several people admitted defeat. When the crowd around the arena looked to the stage, they were in awe. The 16 inborn experts that had just appeared were all exceptionally powerful. With their immense physical body strength, they had forced these supreme talents to admit defeat. The supreme talents that were previously standing on the arena with poise were now easily defeated. This type of attack. Tang Yinxian played her haozhong. Each musical note and stream of water flow restricted the attacks of the Dragonian before her. However, her expression was turning more and more solemn. She was very familiar with this type of attack. Her vision shifted to below the stage and she saw that young man smiling faintly. At this point, she couldn't help but be surprised. Wang. As she waved her fingers, all the musical notes disappeared. Tang Yinxian clasped her right fist with her left palm, facing the Dragonian in front of her before jumping down from the arena. SSS tilde. This. How can this be possible? Those young men that have appeared suddenly are too strong and terrifying. Overwhelming. They were completely overwhelming. This group of people is too powerful. When the crowd looked across and saw one after another supreme talent admitting defeat, they were astonished. Look. The young lord of Sea Serpent Island, Flower Monk and the ominous-looking young man are all being overwhelmed. At this moment, a teenager couldn't help but exclaim. His eyes were wide open as he stared at the developments with disbelief. What? How can this be possible? Complete domination. How can they be completely dominated? Putting Flower Monk and the ominous-looking young man aside, why would even the young lord of Sea Serpent Island be overwhelmed? The sister of Miracle Dr. Wang is so strong. Look. Every time they clash, the young lord of Sea Serpent Island is knocked back several steps. The thick layer of ice has no effect on her at all. The crowd was shocked to witness this. What incredible strength and tough weapon. How can this be possible? If she wasn't lacking in battle experience. The young lord of Sea Serpent Island looked extremely hideous. He gritted his teeth and the ice-core round disc at his chest started spinning. A stream of chilling energy was transmitted to the frozen sorrows in his hands. Swish. The cold aura almost froze the air. Carrying chilling aura that could even freeze the earth, the young lord of Sea Serpent Island swung out his frozen sorrows. How can this be possible? As the chilling aura swept across Xiao Yu, cracks appeared on the tough arena structure and the air became stale. However, she wasn't affected at all. It was as though the chilling aura didn't deal any damage to her at all. Could it be the armor she's wearing? The young lord of Sea Serpent Island pulled a long face and his eyelids were twitching violently. His eyes were fixed on Xiao Yu's bone sword and the black armor she was wearing. Puff. He took a deep breath and the ice core round disc at his chest started to spin once again. Crack, crack, crack. A layer of ice was gradually extended over his entire body, from his arms to his legs, and eventually his head. In the next instant, the young lord of Sea Serpent Island had turned into a statue of ice. The frozen sorrows in his hand seemed to have merged with his palm. The ice-cold seal had turned his body into a weapon. How insane. I can feel a deathly chill even when I'm so far away. The current young lord of Sea Serpent Island is probably peerless among the pinnacle inborn expert. That's too insane. Look. The ominous-looking young man and the flower monk have also undergone huge transformations. Below the stage, the crowd exclaimed in shock. The viewers over the Underworld website were also entirely attracted. Their eyes were opened wide as they stared at their screens, afraid of missing out on anything. What they were seeing was too shocking. I can't believe you have pushed me to this extent. The ominous-looking young man started turning white. His skin had lost its glow and was emitting decadent vibes. The current ominous-looking young man was just like a 10,000-year-old corpse. Deathly silent, decadent and creepily horrifying. As for the flower monk, a stream of blood tears flowed to his chin. The hideous ghost on the scar at the top of his head stood up and emitted terrifying perversity. Bloody red mist was being ejected from all parts of his body, making him look incomparably bloody. The ominous-looking young man looked coldly towards the flower monk. From the vengeance he was emitting, no one knew how many people he had killed previously. The two Dragonians smiled faintly and dense dark aura emitted from their bodies. At the same time, their arms were undergoing a tremendous transformation. Their palms grew over 3 to 4 times their initial size and turned into the claws of a beast. Interesting. A clash of bloodlines. The two Dragonians pursed their lips as they grabbed forward with their dragon claws. This was the Dragonians in their human form. With their current strength, they could dragonify their claws. After dragonification, their palms would resemble the claws of the dragon and would be incomparably sharp. As they grabbed forward, it felt as though they could rip the space apart. Bloodline. They are bloodline martial artists. There are extremely few bloodline cultivators. However, they are common in Euramerica. They can even turn into beasts to launch their attacks. Why do that ominous-looking young man and flower monk feel so evil? Could it be? Some elders who had accompanied the disciples of their families and sects seemed to have recalled something. They became serious and some even felt fear creeping up on them. What a high-level bloodline! What kind of bloodlines are those? Feeling the energies from the dragon claws, the ominous-looking young man and flower monk shivered. They gritted their teeth and launched their decadent energies and bloodthirsty aura towards the dragon claws. Just admit your defeat. Two chilling calls resounded as the two Dragonians grabbed towards the body of the ominous-looking young man and the flower monk respectively. Chapter 449, Sacred Sect, Dragon Sect, 9. Get decadent. Into blood. The ominous-looking young man and the flower monk gave a loud and malevolent cry before they charged towards that dragon claws with greyish decadence and bloodthirsty energies. Claws of the devil dragon. The two Dragonians bellowed coldly, raking their half-meter dragon claws forward. Ka. A shattering sound came with a huge change in the expressions of the ominous-looking young man and flower monk. With horror, they watched as the daunting claws broke through their defense, ripping their bodies. Gasp! Their eyes were full of trepidation as they blocked with their hands in front of them. The terrifying claws with dragon scales stifled them. Fear of death loomed over them. Do you concede defeat? The two Dragonians fixed their cold eyes on them as they uttered their question. We lost. We lost. The two of them trembled with fear as they stared at the two Dragonians. Bloodline oppression. As bloodline martial artists, the scariest thing was to meet same-level opponents with a more prestigious bloodline. That would cause great oppression on them. Besides, higher-grade bloodlines would be much more dominating than the lower grades. The two Dragonians withdrew their dragon claws and threw them a faint smile. Both the flower monk and the ominous-looking young man grimaced. But they could only take a deep breath and bow before making their exits. This was a recognition of the Dragonians' strength. The Dragonians neither kill any innocent nor push anyone to the end. That ominous-looking young man and flower monk were defeated. Defeated, they are defeated. The rest of the supreme talents were all defeated. Gosh, these dozen people just won against all the previous supreme talents. Horrifying. Outstanding 5 devil dragons. No doubt they are the outstanding 5 devil dragons. These outstanding 5 devil dragons must be from a secluded family. Could it be the previous diabolism? The others were also very powerful. Somehow, they do not seem to have revealed their full power yet. Seeing that even the ominous-looking young man and flower monk were defeated, horror filled the eyes of the surrounding crowd at the arena. Those supreme talents who were questioning whether anyone was not convinced were all defeated in the arena. The ranking was completely overturned. They were unable to react in time in the various combats today. As they looked at the young men who sprouted out in the arena, tinges of awe flashed in their eyes. Second uncle, where are they from? How is it that they are so mighty? Xiao Fuzi swept his gaze across the group of young men with darkening expression below the arena. I'm not sure, but I know that ominous-looking young man and the flower monk definitely come from diabolism. The middle-aged man beside him shook his head with eyes looking grave. Diabolism? Could those young men come from diabolism too? Those two men could turn their hands into some beast's claws. I'm sure they are not simple, said Xiao Fuzi with a stern-looking face. When he was fighting with one of the young men in the arena, he'd already sensed the frightening strength and his combat experience was far from his own. There are too many changes to this outstanding young heroes chart this time, said the middle-aged man with flickering eyes. Something big is going to happen in the underworld. Given my strength, I can't even be ranked in the outstanding young heroes chart. Xiao Fuzi gritted his teeth. We need to investigate where these young men came from. But now, all the more we need to kill that miracle Dr. Wang. The remuneration from Medical Saint Sect could greatly enhance the strength of Qiao Clan. Kill. Bam. Just then, a sudden crashing sound came from the arena. When the crowd looked over again, it was incredible combat that they saw. Why are they giving it all their might? All of them were shocked when they saw the frozen sorrows of the young lord stabbing at the sister of Miracle Dr. Wang's chest. Using his experience, he got his opponent to stab into his shoulder. As he battled, this was the only choice that the young lord could make. To exchange a strike with a strike. Trying to break my defense. Upon seeing the frozen sorrows sticking on her chest, Xiao Yu revealed a smile. From the smile on her face, anyone could tell that she was not in pain, and nothing had happened to her. SSS, this. The young lord gasped with a twisted expression on his face. In disbelief, he stared at the dagger in his hand, which could not break the defense of his opponent. Sensing the immense pain from his shoulder, the young lord could not take it lying down. He turned out to be unmatched with her. He was no match for that lass. No. The young lord took his exit hurriedly out of the arena. Ha! Are you throwing in the towel? Do you have cold feet? Xiao Yu was astounded when she saw young lord flitting out of the arena. She pointed her bone sword at him. The young lord was unusually embarrassed. The ice layer on his head disappeared as he glared at Xiao Yu with a frosty look. The hand holding the frozen sorrows was trembling. Darn you, he murmured as his eyes filled with murderous intent. The young lord has exited the arena. Is he admitting his defeat? I guess so. This. Dark horse. This girl is the biggest dark horse this round. She actually defeated the young lord of Sea Serpent Island. Everyone fixed their astonished gazes on the young lord of Sea Serpent Island. Heh, now it looks like I'm the champion of the supreme talent. Xiao Yu looked at the young lord with her chin slightly lifted. Are you thinking of challenging my elder brother? You're not fit yet. You're not fit to be a champion of the supreme talents either. I'm the champion. Xiao Yu was elated as she overlooked everyone around her. She was holding her chin up, looking proud. You. Upon seeing the complacent Xiao Yu, killing intent filled the eyes of young Lord of Sea Serpent Island. All of you shall die. Die. Bam. As soon as he finished his sentence, two middle-aged men emerged by his side in a split second. What? What is the young Lord of Sea Serpent Island trying to do? This is. What does he want to do? Seeing the abrupt appearance of the two middle-aged men, the surrounding crowd was taken aback. Miracle Dr. Wang, you and your men shall perish here. The young Lord of Sea Serpent Island glowered coldly at Wang Xian and Xiao Yu with a bloodthirsty look. His words stunned everyone once again. Gentlemen, do it now. Whoever kills him shall take the remuneration, said the young Lord of Sea Serpent Island as he ignored the astounding looks when he swept his gaze across the surrounding crowd. His words stupefied many people, while some of them were looking confused. Fine, we'll take the killing order of the medical saint sect. Haha, let's make this clear in advance. Everyone can kill Miracle Dr. Wang and the people beside him, but we shall not hurt our friendship and compete with each other. The Wu family will take his life. Gentlemen, we'll go by meritocracy. As soon as young Lord of Sea Serpent Island spoke, some of the families and experts hesitated before they stepped forward. There were Sacred Clan, Qiao Clan, the renowned Wu family in Eastern Province, and some of the first-class forces. Among which, 5 supreme inborn talents who had participated in the ranking of Outstanding Young Heroes chart also walked out with their families. 8 sacred clans, a supreme first-class force actually stepped forward. 8 forces and 27 inborn experts in total. They laughed and chatted with each other as they stared at Wang Xian and the people beside him like their prey. Brother, are we going to take part too? Asked a young man hesitantly to Saint Chi and Saint when he saw more than a score of inborn experts were about to strike. No, I have a bad feeling about this. Another young man peered at the group of daunting young men who had been forgotten on the stage as a premonition surged. Yinxian, are we really not going to do it? Elder Yang, who was tempted to move, asked Tang Yinxian once again. Elder Yang. Tang Yinxian was looking grave. Just you wait and see someone die. What is going on? What exactly is happening here? Why are they suddenly attacking Miracle Dr. Wang? This. The killing order of Medical Saint sect. Could it be such that some forces strike? Most likely. This is the only possibility now. Everyone was astounded to see 8 powerful forces, which consisted of 1 sacred clan and 7 supreme first-class forces. On top of that, the son of the second strongest in the underworld took part too. Miracle Dr. Wang is completely finished this time. It'll be difficult for him to escape. Little did I expect he would perish here. Perhaps he did not expect revenge to come this soon after killing a medical saint sect's disciple. He's going to get killed now. Any forces wish to take part now? If there is, please step out now. If you sneak an attack later, I'll not take it lying down. Young Lord of Sea Serpent Island warned as he swept his gaze around upon seeing some of the forces walking out. That's right. If anyone wants to take part in the killing order of Medical Saint sect, step out now. Anyone who tries to take advantage later will be deemed as having gone against Qiao Clan. Qiao Fuzi also cast his gaze around. Xiao Clan, Medical Saint sect, the inborn disciple, and the golden spiritual bird from Imperial Beast sect did not make any moves. Fine, if that's the case, we'll do the killing. Young Lord of Sea Serpent Island widened his mouth as he stared with a ghastly look at Wang Xian. The remaining 8 forces also threw their cold gazes at the prey that they were going to hunt down. Haha, well. Medical Saint sect's killing order. Wang Xian looked at the group with a slight quirk at the corner of his lips. Phew, 30 inborn experts. 30 inborn experts want my life. He gazed at the young Lord of Sea Serpent Island, Qiao Clan, and the rest. With a faint smile on his face, he said, "Let me make an announcement before you guys strike. I'll give the dying man 10 more seconds to live." A middle-aged man from Qiao Clan slowly pulled out his sword. "I hereby announce to the underworld." Wang Xian swept his gaze across the surrounding crowd. With a soft yell, he said, "I, Wang Xian, establish Dragon Sect, a sacred sect. Where are the disciples of Dragon Sect? Where are the disciples of Dragon Sect? An announcement came as a surprise to everyone, including the 8 forces. Boom boom. A bout of terrifying aura broke out from the arena and the surrounding spots. The sky turned dark as an immense bout of demonic aura darted into the air. Disciples of the Dragon Sect hereby greet the Dragon King. Disciples of the Dragon Sect hereby greet the Dragon King. All the Dragonians from the arena made their moves and appeared before Wang Xian with one knee on the floor. More than dozens of figures showed up before Wang Xian, half kneeling behind him. Greetings to the Dragon King.